Like we all kept fucking doing that at the film, and we were just all like, shit.
I just sent him being this you.
What is wrong with you all?
Do you mean in general, or do you mean like right now?
I mean,
Wait,
I feel
hold on,
like
I can
in
make that
general is a
exact
very
pose. I've got
loaded
the hat
question,
backwards.
so...
He's even got the right color scheme for it.
Yeah,
All
blacks
wear
and yellows,
yellow
I've
and
got the cat
black.
backwards.
See, this is when I need to go onto the footage. I need to take that face and just, like, mirror it next to Paul's.
Stop it! Stop making it! Stop it.
God has abandoned this fucking.
God was
I'm really
never
feeling
here.
myself.
As we have concluded in previous sessions, God was never here.
If there's a god, it's me!
Oh, really?
Well, that's what you could say because you're the omnipotent DM.
I was going to say, how confident are you in your godlike abilities, Paul? Shall we test them this evening?
That's a threat.
Ah.
That's a promise.
As before, Paul will test his godlike charms. I welcome you all back to Twisted Fates. I don't have to scream at you all this time, because thankfully we're not trying to piss anyone off. I hope. Craig.
Not yet.
But as always, I am Emily, I am your Dungeon Master, and these are my boys. We have Craig,
Hello.
who's given me a wave this week, which is nice. He's back in my good books.
I'm not being accused of misogyny this time.
We have Ewan,
Hello.
we have Matthew,
Hey.
and then we have Paul, who is kind of in
Howdy.
my bag books today, but, you know,
I'm in everyone's bad books.
that's just because you're the bad boy.
I'm just a rascal, you know? I'm a rascal.
I've never heard an adult man refer to himself as a rascal before.
It's rather cursed, honestly.
I am
You're
pretty
how
sure you're
old
the
then?
oldest one, aren't you, Paul? Because you're older than me, aren't you?
I am. Yeah, I'm 24.
Yeah. Because you're the oldest and Matthew's the youngest.
Baby Matthew.
Ooh.
Matthew is baby.
I'm
Notice
going.
is your Matthew.
Before this gets out of hand and before we go anywhere else, I'm going to give a recap of what happened last time because I feel that this is a very deep hole I don't want to go into. As last time, our party entered into Westcross. They got to actually see the city and all of its finery. They, I guess, spent a little bit of time kind of finding out a little bit more of their own stories. Ranaagash got to go and speak to the Lord, got to learn a little bit more about Maiar, and in turn, Wolfric got to go to the barracks of the Southern Iron Dragons to learn a little bit more about what, I guess, is happening up north. Sadly, he got the disappointing news that there was no news, at least from his old group, though the positives were that at least Drakenel was still operational. There were still members of the dragons there, and they were still very much active. He did also learn, however, that his family kinda thought he was dead. So, you know, that's going to be a fun little tidbit for them to learn that their son is still alive. But in their time in Westcross, as now is very much a theme in this campaign, they found that people were going missing.
Can't catch a break.
I know.
Can people just like stay in the same place for like a day?
No,
I mean,
never. And
you
if you
really
want to
just gonna be like-
stop people going missing, don't give me a plot line that the best way for things to happen is for folks to go missing, Craig.
I feel very targeted.
It was incredibly
should.
targeted at you.
I know
However,
how it feels to be Matthew now.
alongside their discovery of this, they started their investigations, and I discovered that my party are absolutely useless at picking up anything because I feel like they just forget about insight checks.
Oh, I was targeted at someone else this time.
Hey, Paul.
you know, I might check out the Halls of the Faith again. I feel like there's more information to be garnered.
But today we are actually joining our party as Marcusar has just left the Halls of the Faith, having retroactively decided that he should probably have incited a priestess, as our party are heading towards the Scriptorium on the southern side of town, a supposed bank of knowledge that they have been allocated by Marcusar topics to go and research. At least, possibly. It's up to them whether they actually go and research them or not. They're probably not
No,
gonna.
I want you to all go away, and I want two pages of script written for me by tomorrow evening.
No.
What did we learn?
What did you learn, Paul?
You're not our teacher.
What did you learn? The only one here who could be a teacher right now is Ewan, because I changed my degree.
I'm not very qualified.
Not yet.
Neither was I, but I got to 4th year, so if I can do it, you can too. Just don't have a mental breakdown in your last year. I can tell you it doesn't go very well if you do.
You know what? I'll take a note of that. I can't promise anything.
They never include that on like the little advice pamphlet thing. It's like, here's studying tips. Like, you know, stay hydrated, eat well, get plenty of sleep. They don't say don't have a mental breakdown.
Yeah.
That's one of the core steps that you learn yourself.
Yes.
I mean, the positive I can always take away from it is my mental breakdown had nothing to do with the school I was in or the work I was doing.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's that.
It was the D&D.
No,
It
my
was
That's
us.
snake worship.
my D&D was the only escape, and my mum wanted me to give it up like a fool. But jumping back to D&D, when I probably should be doing uni work, but we'll get to that later. You guys make your way through the streets, head south into Westcross, and arrive at a very mismatched building that is built into the side of the palisades itself. It looked at one point, it probably would have been like a watchtower for the guard or the patrol. You can see the big spire rising up from the ground, but over the years it just seems to have had more and more added to it, creating this almost like Wizard's Tower aesthetic, with all these different jutting parts coming off of the tower, different parts coming off of the walls, and even a big base building that almost looks like a barn has just kind of been stuck to the wall. Even as you stand out, it absolutely reeks that kind of really potent, well, fertilizer smell for tanning hides and leathers, but also just base coals for inks. It just reeks. It has that, I guess, medieval scholarly smell to it when you head towards a scriptorium. If you inhale too much of it, you might be poisoned, but hey. Do you guys just head in? There doesn't really seem to be a process for it. More than anything else, there's not like a front desk or anything, it's just two big old-fashioned wooden doors.
I ding the little bell at the door and be, I'd like to speak to a manager, please.
If anyone in this group is a Karen, it's Marcusar.
Absolutely.
I mean, this is Marcusar's plan, so we should let him go in first.
I shall enter the facility.
The scriptorium.
Scriptorium. Is there anyone about, like, you know, a librarian?
The funny thing is, when you head in, when you open the doors, you are kind of accosted with noise. It is very loud in here. You can hear lots of scratching of parchment. You can hear lots of the chains from the chain library being unlocked and locked and being put back in place. Some of the chains even being made here. However, you don't see anybody. You can just hear a lot of noise in this kind of opening foyer. It's a very small enclosed room with an archway at the other side. Perhaps people are on the other side of the archway.
I can call out, hello?
You get no answer.
I take that as an invitation to enter.
Paul would be an awful vampire.
Yeah, he really would.
May I come in? Nothing? Alright, cool.
Okay, I think that was yes.
Coming in?
You didn't say no, so...
Actually, I take that back. Paul would be an amazing vampire.
I enter through the archway. Y'all can follow if you want.
I mean,
Yeah,
you're the one whose plan this is. We're
we-
following
are-
you.
Are we trying to be kind of quiet?
No, this is a public place. There's no reason. There's no reason to be.
For like to be polite, you don't want to like barge in loudly into someone's like.
Yeah, we'll be polite, but we're not trying to like sneak in.
Yeah, real G's move in silence like lasagna.
Oh, you son of a... Alright, let's enter the fucking building. Marcusar's not moving, I'll just start walking in.
As Marcusar passes through the archway, the three of you obviously follow him. And getting into the main room, this library, the scriptorium, this copy house seems to go on forever. Different offshoots leading into different bookcases, everything very organised. There's not a scrap of paper out of place. But even with all the noise, even with all the work going on, there's still no people. Instead, sat at the desks, at the copying desks, there are what look like mechanical constructs. copying books one by one, turning pages, putting pages into new books, sorting books on shelves, taking books off of shelves, melding the chains for the books, fashioning the locks, the keys. Everything seems to be done by constructs.
Constructs, like, do they seem like humanoid in appearance?
A little bit. They are, I guess, not as chunky as golems. They're not as wide. They're a bit more slender form or slender built. They're done with metal and gears, brass and copper, not with stone or clay. They don't have big bulky plates to them. You can see all of their inner workings, almost like upscale children's toys, like old-fashioned mechanical soldiers that seem to almost be just working away.
I go up to the first one that's closest to me and say, hello?
You don't get an answer.
I wave my hand in front of its face.
Doesn't pay much attention to you.
Don't interrupt the man whilst he's working.
As for Wolfric, Eidolon, and Ranaagash, you didn't notice him when you came in, but it almost seems like he's been there the whole time. Even Eidolon, I think it takes you by surprise as the most, as you are Mr. Eagle Eyes, and yet you didn't even notice him. As a relatively short man, definitely half-elf in his appearance, just with kind of the round tips to the points of his ears, kind of leans in, probably more towards, like, Wolfric. He knows metal can't talk, right?
I don't really know what he knows.
Argasar, you might want to turn away from the, whatever that is.
Okay, I turn around. Do I see the elf woman?
You do, yes. Looking at him, he is quite peculiar in the way that he looks. He is about a foot shorter than Ranaagash. So Ranaagash is probably the shortest out of you all, and he is about a foot shorter than him. He has quite pale skin, almost white or even silvery in some areas. But I guess the thing that stands out to you quite quickly is his eyes and his hair. They are almost like liquid gold. So not like a gold or a tawny colour, like it literally looks like liquid gold. As he kind of just looks and smiles at you. Kind of gives the four of you quite an elaborate bow. I am Beiro, and you are, kind of gestures at Eidolon. Eidolon Dindalis, former captain of the 1st Rampart and of the 1st Assault, and to my knowledge, the only man, other than myself, who has ever refused an offer from my sister. So, who are the rest of you?
I'm Wolfric Reinbrand of the Northern Iron Dragons.
Father Marcusar Wild of the Green Hand of the Old Ferret.
Ranaagash the Bastard, if you're feeling fancy.
Always.
Could you
Eidolon is just more standing with his mouth agape at the side, just staring at this man.
Read Eidolon's diary. What are these things? Gestures to the constructs.
They are my creations. They help me work.
Is it just you here?
It is my library.
An impressive one at that.
Thank you. So why are you here?
We're here to learn more about the strange occurrences that are happening in Westcross.
Then you likely won't find much in my library.
I was recommended to come here by a priestess at the Halls of the Faith.
You are welcome to look around. You'll definitely find knowledge here, but answers... well, depends what answers you're looking for. You're not going to find answers to what's happening in town, that's for sure, but you might find something that interests you.
What do you believe is the cause of what's been happening? The disappearances, the brands?
I don't often pay attention. I came here to get away from problems.
I mean, we're all escaping something.
Not escaping, Father Marcusar Wild of the Green Hand. Simply getting
Father's
away
fine.
from.
We took note of the brand that was on the building, right?
Mm-hmm.
Has someone written it down? Sketched it out?
Craig has
I
it.
got a small scrap of paper from the captain.
Did a little rubbing on the wall, you know? Eidolon, do you have the brand?
Eidolon slowly, just still sizing up this man for whatever he is, takes out the piece of paper and hands it to Marcusar. Not taking his eyes off the man, though.
Do you recognize the symbol?
Yes.
What can you tell us about it?
It's been showing up around town for the past 2 months.
Oh, he played you there, Paul.
I don't care for your toe. Is that all you can tell us about this?
It is a runic carving, unique in its style. It is a ward that helps a creature locate a person or place.
Nothing we didn't already know, it seems.
It is considered to be magical until such times as the creature has fulfilled its purpose with said person or location, and then it becomes inert.
It's like it's straight out the DM's guide.
Wolfric, finally drawing his attention from the man. When you asked the innkeep at the Sleeping Stag about the attacks, what did he say? Exactly.
The church is being blamed, people are being taken in the night. The townsfolk believe it to be a creature of the Dark Hunt.
So he didn't mention an attack occurring at the Sleeping Stag, which by our own investigations we would now know happened.
No, he did not mention that.
Well, alright. As Eidolon's gaze would turn back to being affixed on the old man, sizing up and trying to recognize any of his features as familiar.
He doesn't look old.
Yeah, I kind of guessed that.
If you were to guess,
I have an
he's
idea of who his
probably
sister
in
could be.
his mid-30s, if that. The only thing that I guess looks pretty peculiar to you if you're observing him and looking at him, other than his hair, as scanning him up and down, you notice that his left arm, though covered in his own robes, the hand is completely blue and almost slightly transparent. Though is still moving like a normal hand, just almost stuttering or lagging at times if he's got to think about it too much.
Like a mage hand.
It appears this mage has a strange hand.
Do you have anything else you'd like to ask, Marcusar? As it does appear we have a new lead.
Can you tell us anything about Venomir?
Well, I'm not a religious man.
But you're a knowledgeable man.
He is the divine of impurity, the moon, and vampirism, or curses, if you want to be a bit more specific. He was created by the Fae, supposedly, to punish the Hydra for stealing worship from the old gods, and became a god himself as a way for the new faith to control his hunger. He apparently has a wife, and he's not very nice to her, but...
Who's the wife?
The goddess Liera. She was apparently a gift. She didn't like being a gift. A lot of the mythologies of the new faith are baffling.
Because she wanted to get married to someone else, and then someone who actually liked her got jealous, so told her mom, and then her mom ended up getting her married to a son of a bitch. And her wings got tore off.
Almost. But
What was her name?
Almost
sorry?
completely.
Liera.
Liara, sorry.
L-L-I.
L-L, 2 L's. Okay. Then it's the Welsh, then it's Clara.
That's actually not a bad name, too.
Do you believe these attacks could have been perpetrated by a follower of Venomir?
Again, I don't often leave these walls. Perhaps.
Could a vampire have made these attacks?
I've seen a stranger.
Matthew is dabbing on us.
I was yawning into my elbow. Don't do me dirty like that.
What are you suggesting, Marcusar? As Paul hits it.
Would we by any chance be able to look through your books?
It's an open library as long as you put them back where you found them and don't damage them.
Okay. Alright, guys, let's split up and look for clues.
Alright.
I can't remember what I said last session, but like, I think it's like Eidolon look at Venomir, Wolfric look at local monsters, or whatever, creatures local. Ranaagash, do I have anything for you to look at?
I'm staying with the man. I'm not going for the books.
Okay, then Ran, do you want to look for stuff about Venomir?
I can certainly try. It depends how much is written in Orc.
I mean, you have a basic understanding of reading in common. Your mum will have taught you some.
Ranaagash, I want you to read up about Venomir, and I want to study about a necklace that the priestess was wearing. It bared a full moon. I want to look into that.
The likelihood is that's probably the symbol of Venomir.
I want to be doubly sure.
I look at the old man.
Stop calling him old. It's not old.
I'm gonna call him old man because he's a man who runs a library.
Fine.
And I'm gonna research some local monsters in the area.
So, I need Ran, Wolfric, and Marksar to roll me some investigations because you guys are actually looking for stuff. Are you actually looking for what you said you were going to look for, Paul? I also need that information.
I'm looking for information about Aramba.
Thought so.
12, that's Pog. Let's go.
Oh, that's a straight D20, but it's a +1, so 17.
17.
Hey, them there.
Matthew finds cookbooks.
I mean, you find some nice picture books.
Aww.
The little horse that could.
But I guess the biggest problem here is a lot of them are written in common, or in the common script, which is something that Ranaagash is whilst familiar with in terms of oral traditions, not so much in terms of written traditions. You did grow up with your dad after all, so you were taught to speak common, not read it.
Big word, confusing.
Word be confusing.
What does confusing even mean?
For yourself, Wolfric, looking for beasts and monsters that maybe are a bit more local to Westcross or even just the plains, at least that could fit the description of perhaps a dark hunt. Not a lot comes, at least in terms of bestiaries, there's not a lot of beasts that would be able to pull off what is being done in the town. You need something a bit more sentient, something that's perhaps a bit more humanoid. So therefore you, I guess, start delving into more of cursed creatures or more humanoid creatures. And you soon start to delve into the likes of vampires, but also lycanthropes. Something that is quite common up north, especially for werebears and werewolves. The Gildenfeld, whilst still being rare, it is quite common for someone to be afflicted with such a curse. And it seems that Westcross itself has its own legends surrounding were creatures, especially in the plains. However, they always seem to be, I guess, a bit more obvious. I guess would be a way to describe it. They don't seem to be magical. They tend to be a lot more, I guess, natural hunters. You assume that if it would be a lycanthrope taking things away, they'd probably leave more of a trail behind.
Not an open window, but a broken window.
Yeah. It wouldn't be just an open window, it would be a broken window, because obviously the creature itself is quite large, the beast itself is usually quite uncontrollable. Men or even women who are afflicted with such a curse usually forget themselves and have no control over what they can and can't do. So whilst it being a possibility, some things don't quite line up. But again, you get the same from the vampiric side when you start looking at more undead curses, where yes, it would make sense for it to happen at night. Vampires and undead tend to have an affliction towards sunlight, so it would make sense for them being at night. They do have unnatural speed and can hide in the dark very, very well. They also have some magical abilities, but I guess the thing that doesn't make sense with them is they are incredibly sentient. They know what they're doing, they know what they're thinking. Most undead have that ability to control themselves, and yet the brands seem to almost be targeting different houses as if the creature itself doesn't have that much sentience. However, if it was something like a spawn or a undead, surely they would just be attacking at random, not attacking specific buildings with a specific brand to them. There's things that fit, but at the same time, not all the pieces are there. For yourself, Paul, looking for a Ramba and looking for a Vanya, despite your 17, you don't seem to find very much. You do find accounts of the world's histories, something that you yourself have never been exposed to before. You essentially find accounts of the destruction of Ilvania. However, no one really knows how it happened. the accounts that you are reading seems to reflect more on the aftermath of what happened. The war that saw essentially a Ramba created as the wasteland was made, and the men of the wall had to go down and fight. A lot of the accounts you read seem to be first-hand accounts, someone going down and actually fighting alongside the men and women who chased off a lot of these quite monstrous creatures by the sound of things, able to fight them back, but never is it stated where those creatures came from. Then obviously you get into the creation of Aramba itself and its establishing government, where essentially the way that the culture there seems to work is that no one goes in, no one comes out. Those who live there stay there until they die, and those who live upon the walls are soldiers until they die. Their laws and customs seem very alien to you, but in terms of, I guess, base information, it seems just to be the histories. Again, they seem to be very personal accounts rather than like second-hand accounts or stories.
It would be a first-hand account by, say, a druid called the Taurus.
No, these seem a lot older than that.
Okay.
If you want, you can give me another investigation to see if you can actually pertain an author, see if you can find it. Because it's not too obvious who wrote these, but you can almost try and find one. You cannot.
Thought as much.
However, these are copies that seem to have never been touched after they've been written. They've never been reproduced. So these are, I guess, quite unique in a sense. As Eidolon, whilst everyone's away reading, what are you doing?
So I'd like to follow the man for wherever he goes, just to get a slight bit away from the party.
Yeah, he'll just wander around, probably after maybe 5-10 minutes of you following him, just kind of around different parts of the building, around several spires, up flights of stairs. He will kind of just not look at you, but more as he's fiddling around and doing other stuff, sorting through books, sorting through tomes, moving stuff around. So why are you following me around?
Keeping a distance from the rest of them.
I remind you of home then?
It's the exactness of the knowledge you provided when we came in that's suspicious. Who are you?
My name is Barrow.
Yeah, it doesn't ring any bells. I'll need a bit more than that.
It wouldn't. She doesn't talk about me very much. I don't talk about her very much. We don't get along.
I've refused a lot of offers from a lot of different people in my life, so I don't know who you refer to when you say your sister.
Well, other than myself, you are the only man I know to have refused an offer from her. Run through that little head of yours. How many people do you think you couldn't refuse an offer for?
I'll take that as an exact insult, but from the conclusion that can be drawn from that, I can't exactly voice that. So why aren't you there then?
Because I don't want to be.
Did she let you leave that easily?
I am her older brother. She can't tell me what to do.
How old is this? I was right when I said old man. Jesus! Sorry, that just lets me piece together how old this guy exactly is. Jesus. As Eidolon would more just sigh. I know he won't care for it, but I'll give him a basic salute. Clearly, he doesn't care for that sort of thing, but... So how do you know who I am, then? I don't exactly see that as any importance.
I have records of every man, woman, and child who has served on the wall. I have their recorded deaths and their births.
So I guess that'll stick out somewhat strangely, then.
And I also intercepted letters from my sister saying that you were on your way to the Citadel.
You do that often?
She likes to keep things from the world. I like to know what she knows.
And as he'd sort of cast an eye around the library, share that?
Nope. Those are in my own personal accounts. I am not stupid enough.
Are those here?
Yes. But I am not stupid enough to give people access to them.
Well, yes, because if you did, not only this library would be burned down, but the people who knew it would be killed.
And that would be a waste of good life.
And if you've intercepted the letters, you'll know why I'm traveling.
Indeed.
Is it happening here? I know you say you don't listen, but... Jesus Christ, could you lie anymore, obviously?
You might not value their lives, but I do.
Value the lives of who?
The men who are currently wandering my library.
And
If I was to tell you what I believed, what I thought, what I reached my conclusions to believe, would you let them live?
as I don't know if it would be strange for this man, as he clearly seems to have a understanding of the people on the wall. Eidolon would stop and actually think about it. The reason that would be strange is because most would be able to give an answer without hesitation. As he's welcome to say anything about that, as Eidolon would take the pause. Which, again, would not be normal.
Well, it looks like you've been off the wall longer than I thought.
What's going on in Westcross, then?
There is a creature here that is none like I've ever seen. I would call it a shade or a spectre, but that is not entirely true. It isn't taking people, it's killing them. Incredibly quickly, leaving very little behind, if anything at all.
I hate to ask a morbid question, but has it left anything behind?
It has left one behind. You mentioned the inn. It has been attacked. Though
Any reason for the innkeep to keep that from... As I look around, see if Wolfric's nearby, but obviously he's not.
as far as the town are aware, the place was never attacked, for no one went missing. But there are benefits of being close, and there are benefits of watching. It seems someone in the building was attacked, but for whatever reason the attack was stopped.
Did you have anything to do with that?
No, I don't get involved anymore.
Even to save the lives of the people in the town?
If I start getting involved, especially with things like this, I would save a few lives, but only for a few moments.
You can continue with what you think's going on. As Eidolon would more just turn around and just absent-mindedly just scan across the books that are upon the shelves.
I think that someone is using Westcross to experiment.
Not the first time.
No, it never is, but because of the population and its density and the way that the buildings are laid out, it is quite easy to expand one's influence. And especially in a town like this, where they are so easy to latch on to superstition, it is very easy to go under the radar.
And it seems they have a perfect scapegoat already. Is the Sleeping Stag the only place you can point us towards?
Other than everywhere else in town that's been attacked.
Well, with this info, it might be imperative to have one of my companions return to somewhere they've been before, and actually get some info this time.
You never answered my question.
That being?
Would you kill them?
And why would I have any need to? This information hasn't been... Yeah, I don't know. What do you mean?
Well, they seem to be investigating with you. I assume they will likely follow you.
They know how to kill them.
Intelligent men could know how to kill these beasts. I imagine my sister won't be happy to hear that you've told someone else, but that's not what I mean. I know what you're looking for. Eidolon did Alice. That information is not something that anyone else should be privy to. So I ask again, will you kill them?
I'm not a captain here. As I turn around and head through the library.
Good. As he himself turns and kind of starts wandering around his library.
I'm just gonna look for the first person I can find, whether that be Marksar, Bulfric, or Ranaagash. Doesn't really matter.
I'll roll a d4, we'll find out.
It'll be really awkward if it was Paul.
So, Marcusar!
Oh no! Oh, 19 passive perception. I wonder what that'll be good for.
I rolled a d4 and I was going to re-roll if it was a 4 and I rolled a 3 and on my screen it's you and Matthew. Paul.
Lay.
As Eidolon, you head, I guess, through the shelves trying to obviously locate one of the boys, and the first person you come across is Marcusar, who is not reading about anything to do with Venomir or Full Moon Symbol or Dark Hunt, but is instead reading through the histories of Aramba.
Can you see the cover?
He has a 19 passive perception. He could probably see the words on the page.
It's my one benefit. Wolfric's better at attacking than I am. Ranaagash can cast powerful spells, and you have healing. My only up is my eyes. As If you're still reading, you'd have to wait a few seconds until you look up yourself to see that I am just looking at you at the current time.
Hello, Eidolon.
Interesting topics, very related.
Couldn't find much about the half moon. You were right, it was just a symbol of Venomir. Domain of death and all that. So,
Aha.
thought I would just have a look, a browse.
An oddly specific place you've ended up browsing, then.
You know, this place is a maze. Picked up the first book I saw.
All you'll find is the history of the world, and if you need that, you can just ask me. I have no reason to lie about any of that.
I don't know much of the world outside of the South and Summerhost, so I wish to learn.
Then walk with me as we try find one of the other two. If you'd like to know how it started, I can tell you.
After you, Maestro.
Shall I exposition dump for Paul here?
You may exposition dump as Eidolon.
Okay, hold on.
Oh, boy. So, how old are you, Marcusar?
I am 30. 30, yes. Well, does it count if it's a new body?
You're still
I'm one.
30.
We're not gonna say that you're one.
I am baby.
No, not again.
Shut up.
So Paul
I'm
ruined
30 years
everything.
old.
Well, about 500, maybe 600. Or some accounts are more than 1,000 years ago. Everyone lived in roughly the same place, barring the orcs, who's a notable outlier, and some of the men from the Gildenfeld. Everyone lived in the northeast, in a place called Ilvania. Didn't need for anything, didn't want for anything.
That's when the Fire Nation attacked.
Kind of.
Close enough. And then, no one knows really how it happened. Everyone died. It wasn't instantaneous. It was like a disease. It spread quickly. Killed everybody. Well, barring a few who were able to escape and set up a boundary wall.
What's on the other side?
Of the boundary wall, here, this land.
But what of Ilvania?
The disease stayed for a while. People didn't know what to do. But, as fate usually has it, brave group of men from the Gildenfeld, young lads, went in and were able to vanquish it. It hasn't been heard of since. The place is closed off, mainly due to the danger of the unexpected. Collapsed buildings, that sort of thing. At any time, you could just get crushed or fall into a ravine.
But is the land still, I don't know, habitable?
Well, when you live where I've lived, that might be a plan eventually, but no, not yet. If you think about what happens when you decimate a field, it stays like that for a long time, no matter what you do. And especially when the decimation is magical, it's incredibly difficult to remove. And we have no idea that if living creatures tried to live there again, if they'd just get infected again, and it would start all again. And we couldn't win again.
Does not seem wrong to disregard the whole place. You know, there could be hope. You seem very hopeless.
There could be hope, but not in our time. We'll leave that hope for another generation.
Why leave it to the next generation? Why not do something about it now?
When you live somewhere, Marcusar, you get a better insight into what you're talking about than when you're not there.
I wish for insight.
Then you're getting it. Why do you think I'm taking the time to tell you this?
Because you're my friend.
Yeah, you wish.
Ooh, words hurt, Eidolon.
I'm telling this for you to try and understand. Yes, we can have hope. Yes, we can want to rebuild. But that's our job. The rest of the world can continue developing and find their own ways to live, their own solutions, and we will slowly, in the background, rebuild a part of the world that can't be touched yet. And hey, you're an elf, you can wait 300 years now.
That never occurred to me.
Yeah, your lifespan's 800 years now.
Hell yeah. Sayonara, fuckers.
Literally times by 100.
Net gain. The only benefit he got from that.
As I guess next on your wandering list, you guys would find Wolfric.
I was going to make one more statement to Marcusar, but that's fine, because I was
mean-
just going to call him out on lying before.
Go ahead.
But I'll save off on that.
Save on the lies.
I can hold. As if we come across
Any-
Wolfric, it'll just be the wave down of Wolfric.
Find anything?
There are lycanthropes and vampires in the area, but this doesn't seem consistent with a lycanthrope because this seems like a more calculated sneak in than a smash and grab.
And from the vampiric approach,
There's a possibility, but it's less likely.
I do know one thing about the Sleeping Stag that you might want to know, Wolfric.
What?
There has been an attack there,
Motherfucker.
but someone survived.
Dun, dun,
So
dun.
if we want to ask the innkeep about that, maybe we should take him aside.
Take him out
Yep.
back.
Give him the old 1-2.
Introduce him to reason and persuasion.
He might be
Cheers.
hiding it for responsible reasons. Maybe he's trying to keep whoever it is safe. But he also might be hiding it for malicious purposes. We don't know yet. For all we know, the innkeep could be the one doing this at this point.
Well, there's only one way to find out.
Shall we find Marcus? Shall we find Ranaagash?
Yeah, let's go find
You
Marcus.
do it too!
Wonder where he is.
Not Marcus or Ranaagash.
I don't know why, it's only ever Ran and Marcusar, but I always get the two of you mixed up. I don't know why it's the easiest two to get mixed up. Your names are
even
nowhere
when-
similar.
Even when
Oh,
we're
if you're
talking
not
about the
human,
game
you'll just
outside
look
of
the
it,
same.
even when we're like talking about the game outside of sessions, you often get them mixed up.
Like, it's not just even like in sessions or in like, it's just in general conversations I get the two of them mixed up, and it's not even like I get the two characters mixed up, it's just the two names mixed up. However, Ran,
Mm-hmm.
I do need another investigation from you.
Okay.
That one's slightly
That's a little
better.
better.
As obviously you kind of keep looking, I guess you start kind of wandering into libraries. You want to at least try and find something that is legible, something that you can understand, or at least something to help the guys out. You keep looking, keep wandering, until you find, I guess, a part of the library you probably shouldn't have stumbled into. But it's not until
The adult section.
Paul, you got the brothel last game. Calm down.
There's like a beaded curtain.
I wonder what the constructs will look like on the other side of that.
A flashing neon sign. I don't know.
Assume the position.
Ewan!
Oh no!
Oh no.
As Ranaagash, you don't actually notice that. I guess you were kind of almost following a noise. You don't notice it until I guess you're more in this section and it gets louder. Subconsciously, you seem to be following almost chattering, but not like conversational chattering. Not like, well, for a start, that would be odd. That would be strange because the only people in here are the four of you and Barrow and a couple of constructs. But it seems like almost different voices having different conversations but about different things all at the same time, almost kind of pulling you towards this part of the library, this, I guess, restricted section if we're looking at Harry Potter lore. But not Paul's restricted section.
I don't know what's inside Paul's restricted
I don't want
Don't
to know.
want to know what's in Paul's restricted section.
Or because I will never sleep again.
No. As you start to scan the shelves, I guess now more consciously looking for the source of the noise more than anything else, you hear a voice rather than conversational. It almost seems to be talking at you. As from inside the shelves, you just hear, "I know you can hear me, I just know you're ignoring me. Either that or you're blind."
He's not completely wrong. I am
9 passive
mildly
perception.
blind.
As there is a quite interesting book sat amongst them all. The reason it's quite interesting is its spine seems to almost be, I guess, more multicoloured. That kind of chromatic sheen to it. It looks like leather, but at the same time it looks more like a rock or a stone in that kind of weird glistening rainbow of colour. It also is one of the only books on the shelf that doesn't have a name across its spine or even any indentations on the spine to denote the stitching on the inside to hold the pages in place. It's just a smooth spine. That is about 1 inch in diameter. And as you almost hear the voice, you can almost see the book jutter.
Okay. Guess I'm gonna like reach for the book. You know? It's aware of me, so I might as well.
As you have a look at the book. There's nothing on the cover. The cover is completely blank. It feels a bit heavy. Heavier than a book, I guess, should. At least of this size. And it seems to open on its own as you hold it. Kind of taking it by the spine, it just flicks itself open into quite a collection of random pages where you start to see words start to write themselves on the page. Scanning over it, it seems to be quite mundane. It seems to be almost describing someone's breakfast. But it seems like they're having it for dinner.
Chad.
As the book essentially is a collation and contemplation of their thoughts and their actions, almost like reading a script. You can get a gist of what this person's actually going through, what they're actually doing, but you have no clue who this person is. As the book opens and sits upon this page and you see the words start to paint on it, you hear the voice again. Been a while since someone has actually come to see me, and you're definitely not Barrow, so that makes this more beneficial for me.
Worrying statements to hear from a talking book.
A talking book is worrying in the first place.
Always.
You are speaking, aren't you?
I am
Not
speaking
enough.
words, and you are hearing the words. That is how a conversation works.
Correct me if I'm wrong here, but books don't normally do that.
What books have you been reading?
Not very many, to be honest.
That's not usually where this joke goes. Usually you say, if yes, and then it's like, well, you're reading the wrong type of books then, but... Not going to lie, this is new to me.
I read this good book about green eggs and ham.
Sam, I am.
I don't think Dr. Sist exists in Elrond.
That's for M to decide.
What do you want, I suppose?
In an ideal world, for you to take me off the shelf, put me in your bag and leave with me and not tell Beryl you have me.
He wants to elope.
And why would I do that?
Because I'm fed up sitting on a shelf.
Surely you're here for a reason. This is a library.
Then check me out.
I don't believe it's that kind of library.
Look, if I can prove I will be of use to you, will you take me?
This is Tom Riddle's diary.
I'm getting big vibe to that, really.
What's with all the Harry Potter references today? I don't know. It seems rather rude to steal a book.
Like you've never stolen something before.
What are you implying?
Wow, this is really, really not what I'm used to. Going back to my original accord, I can show you I can be useful. You can read my pages, which is interesting, and you can hear my voice, which is even more so. So therefore I can be useful. I will show you I am useful, and then you will take me from the library, yes?
Again, this seems like Barrow would not appreciate of that. Seems like he should at least be aware of a book leaving this place.
He is not aware of a lot of things. This can just be added to that list.
How are you sure of that? How do you keep track of things?
Agree to my accord and I can show you.
Fine, show me what you can do.
Give me a name.
What? What kind of name?
A place, a person, an object, anything your heart desires. Give me a name.
Doing improv now. I need a place. Cafe.
Are we playing charades?
Yes, and...
Let's go with Maya.
The book itself seems to start flicking through its pages. It stops at seemingly a blank page, but only for a few seconds. As you see in perfectly scrawled, old-fashioned script letters that very elaborate font, the Forest of Mire coming up at the top of the page. And then in text font, underneath the old-fashioned Times New Roman, easiest font to write in back then, you then start seeing the history of Mire be written out, word for word, as your father would have taught you, as the elders would have taught you, to the point that the names of every orc, their birth dates, their death dates, what happened to them to make them die, legacies of the chieftains. You start seeing everything as the pages turn one by one, to the even point where you see Bartak's succession tree. Not his family tree, because it's not passed from successor, but you see the, I guess, line of chieftains, where it stops at Bartak's name. However, you then see a loop line, where you see one wife, a kid, you see two wife, two kids, and then you see a third wife who has no kids. As it looks like he's been pretty busy in the time you've been gone.
How long have I been gone? Like 2 months or something?
About 2 months, yes.
Good progress.
Positives, the kids aren't his, they are adopted, but the wives are definitely his.
Okay, that's...
As at least the ages on the kids that pop up are like, I think the youngest one on the chart is like 2, 3.
Okay, that's... I'm mildly concerned there.
No, he just works that fast.
He like has to balance out that Ran has a no game and just overcompensates.
Why do you think he's got 3
Where
wives?
is Ram's game?
The coochie man.
Ram, where is your game?
It's been left in summer host with Freddy.
Like Half-Life 3, non-existent.
Wasn't even there. There was no.
But yeah, everything that you have been taught about Mire, even stuff about the present day, just, I guess, day-to-day encampments, who is running what, who is orchestrating what, who is currently married, who is having kids, who is currently on their deathbed, who has already died. You see the names of some orcs that you knew, obviously before you left, they seem to have now passed. You see their death, like, reasons for their death are quite common, mostly hunting. But this book seems to have an encyclopedia of Mire.
How? As I like obviously like gesture to the page.
It's what I do. Better explanation, I'm like you, but better.
You're clowned on by a fucking bound piece of paper.
First of all, I was gonna ask how you would know, but that's a stupid question. Second of all, you can't vomit from seeing things, so that doesn't count. You don't count as being better.
I wouldn't see that as being better.
No, but it's unfair, but it's semantics and... But how did you get here?
Put into book on shelf.
So you're not the book.
Well, I'm the book now.
Okay. What were you before the book?
About 5, 6. Kind of broad-shouldered. I can't really remember what hair colour I had.
I meant like...
I was
not
alive!
Like who you were. You know, I'm not interested. Not like that.
Well, here I thought it's been, what, nearly 200 years, and the first person to ask who I was, and, you know, I thought we'd have a nice conversation about it, but, well, you know. I was made in a book for my own protection. I don't want to be a book anymore, and I don't want to be on a shelf anymore, okay?
Protection from what?
So you know that thing that goes on in your head that makes you vomit, and you think it makes you better than me?
That's not what... That wasn't it, but continue.
I know it wasn't, but semantics and all that.
Continue.
I had that, but worse.
Right.
I see everything that was, is, and is going to be. I know every location and every person on this planet who has ever been born and ever will be born. It's easier to contain that knowledge in a piece of paper than in the brain of a person.
Right. That makes sense, I suppose. Again, books can't vomit, so...
Matthew can learn the science of word vomit.
You know, it definitely puts a new twist on it, on the concept.
Are you taking the magic book, Matthew?
I'm gonna take it to Barrow first because I don't want to steal. Stealing is illegal. I'm a good boy, you know? No crime.
You're called the bastard.
Yeah, I'm called the bastard, not the thief, not the asshole, not the criminal. Very specific type. Very specific niche.
No, I don't want to be a book. No.
As I guess you're having a conversation with this book, Eidolon, Marcusar, Wulfric, you guys find Ranaagash in, I guess, quite a secluded part of the Scriptorium, seemingly staring at a blank book.
Are you alright there?
Good reading.
Yes, well, yes.
There's nothing in that book.
Oh, you can't see it then.
See
Oh,
what?
it's another weird magic thing.
I'm afraid so.
Marcusar, can you see anything in the book?
Can I see anything in the book?
No, it's just blank pages.
I do not see anything in the book.
Either this is a very specific type of magic, or Ranaagash has simply inhaled far too much vellum for his liking.
It's a sketch
We have a
pad,
lead.
what are we on about?
It's possibly arcane rather than, what do you call nature magic?
Druidic?
Sure, that's a word we'll go with. Probably that.
We had in the
Pretty sure
car,
that's
put me in the bag.
Shut up. As I turn to
Can
the
we
book.
hear that? Can we hear the book
Nope.
talk?
Only
Can
Ran
we hear
can.
Ranaagash respond?
Yes.
Wulfric,
Are you telling us to shut up, Ranaagash?
Ranaagash, we didn't say anything.
Ryan, you good? You trying to start something right now?
No, but this book is...
The book didn't say anything, Ranaagash.
You can't
Can
hear
you
it and you
hear
can't
the
see
book
it.
talking?
Yes.
Hold on, I'm gonna make a quick phone call and get Ranaagash sectioned.
Do you need to lie down, Ranaagash?
Is there
No.
a door to another room? Is there a corner that I can go around? Wulfric just walks around the corner. You hear a loud thud against the wall, and just, for fuck's sake!
Just like a muffled screaming, like.
Just, just, I can't go 5 fucking minutes with this goddamn adventuring party without us finding something weird. Why is
Listen.
everyone so fucking strange?
Ranaagash, if you want to work out whatever you're working out with this blank book that apparently talks to you, we have a new lead.
Barrow can... Alright, that's more relevant. What's the lead?
Back at the Sleeping Stag, the innkeep didn't tell Wulfric anything. Someone survived an attack there.
Right. By... How?
We don't know. Barrow didn't know. We're going to go ask what the innkeep, who is likely either sheltering the survived person or is somehow involved with the survived person, what he knows. Or threaten him until he tells us what he knows.
Okay. Do you mind if I sort
Are
this
you-
out Barrow
Are you going
first?
to talk to the book?
The agreement was you put me in the bag. You don't talk to Barrow.
I have a question. If I spoke, would the book hear me?
Yes.
Ranaagash, I'm speaking right now. Can the book hear me?
I'm gonna just turn to the book and just give it a look.
Yes,
Like a
I
side
can hear
glance,
him.
basically. It can, yes.
Okay, so how am I going to determine that is actually a talking book and that you're not just fucking with me right now?
What is his name?
Do you need a full name?
It makes it easier.
Wulfric Reinbrandt. As again, I'm obviously just talking with the book.
I'm
Okay,
going
so
to character out of the book now.
Oh, it's the
So
wrong
you- so
folder.
you-
I need to remember that I now have 2 folders for you guys.
you're corresponding.
Oh shit.
With the
The
book.
book asked my name for something.
Yes.
That's concerning.
It wants to prove that it is a talking book.
And how do we not know you're just not having a vision about Wulfric?
Because the book can give words.
That tends to be how books work.
Currently, the book you are holding doesn't have any words.
Just give it a moment.
Ah, here we go. Wolfric Reinbrandt, eldest of 7.
I'm just gonna basically just repeat everything it says to save me having to memorize everything and say it again.
Mother is Edda, father is Eberic. Eberic is a lumberjack, though has some experience in combat, not a lot. Eldest sister Alia, then has a set of twins, Amaric and Seneric, then Brynja, Frederick, Saskia, and had a dog for most of his life. He will be sad to know the dog has, actually...
The dog's fucking dead!
Maybe not tell him that bit.
Your dog died, Ewan!
Do you have a sibling called Sasuke?
Saskia.
Her name's Saskia.
Saskia,
Because it's a
sorry.
German name, and she's a girl.
I know, but it
Her
sounded
name's
like Sasuke.
Saskia. Also, the name is pronounced Sasuke.
Sasuke.
Yeah. It's Saskia. The name you're thinking of is Sasuke.
Sasuke.
My dog's dead. My dog's dead.
We don't know that though, but Ewan now has the knowledge that his family dog has died.
This is like the curse of Strahd. My dad's dead. My dad's dead.
As,
My dog's dead. My dog's dead.
as Ranaagash would obviously be rhyming off that information, he would then suddenly stop at your dog.
Ranaagash, what happened to my dog?
It's
What
fine.
happened to Petuni?
Oh no.
Fine. They're fine.
Do you want to insight that?
You're lying to me.
Can I roll deception?
Roll me
Can I
deception.
roll it?
Wolfric, roll insight.
I really hope Ewan wins this. This will be so worth it if he does.
Let's go!
That's so much more.
Let's go, your dog died, let's go!
Dog
Tragic
fuckers.
revelation, my dog is dead. I'm rolling a success to
F's
find
a
out
chat.
your dog dead, like an absolute champion.
That's Ewan's only good roll of the whole session, and it's just for finding out that his dog fucking died when he was gone.
Is my dog dead? My dog's dead. My dog's dead.
I pat Wolfric on the shoulder.
Alright, I think that proves enough.
Yeah,
As I
because I
look
wa-
more to speak over Wolfric sobbing.
How the fuck does this book know that?
I embrace Wolfric.
No, we don't know each other like that.
Just pushes him off.
Just puts a hand on his face and
It's
just
okay, it's okay,
pushes him off.
it's
We don't know
okay,
each other like that.
it's okay.
Damn, Marcusar just got turned down by 2 members of the party in one 20-minute interval.
Let it out, Wolfric. Don't run from it.
So
You'll
what
be running from
are you
me.
gonna try take this book, Ranaagash, or are you leaving it here?
Certainly going to speak to Barrow about this.
I need to ask one more definitive question to confirm whether or not that it is actually a magic talking book that seems to know mysterious amounts of things.
Such as your dog being... Yeah.
Wolfric puts his hand behind his back. How many fingers am I holding up?
How many fingers is he holding up?
He's holding up all of them.
No matter what he answers, he can say either 5 or 4 and that his thumb doesn't count. This is the genius route. This is the big brain strat.
Wolfric. 900 IQ moments.
As for you in your head, Ran, the book kind of just almost sighs. Will this gentleman stop playing games?
He's just told him his dog's dead. Let him have a moment.
Okay, it looks like he's waving at his arse.
He asked how many fingers.
I can't shrug. How many fingers do you wave with?
You can do that. You don't need your full hand to wave.
Yeah, because the queen waves were like that.
Yeah,
Whatever. There's weird ways of waving.
That's still a wave.
Yeah. So that's a Someone you were going with? Do you have an answer? Is he going to believe you?
It's not if he's going to believe me, it's if he's going to believe you. We had an accord, now put me in the bag and leave.
At least answer his question before you get back to that.
He has all of his fingers up. And unless he has chopped one off within the past 3 seconds, he only has 5.
Now that would be the power move.
It says all 5 of them.
Well, I mean, the thumb's technically not a finger, but if we're going to be going by its rules, then that is correct.
We want to get into semantics.
Now that we have affirmed that Ranaagash's blank book has telepathic communication with him, can we leave now?
Yes,
I agree with this one.
I just need... It's really annoying because it's going to be really annoying because we'll hear you affirm in its voice, but we can't respond because we can't hear it.
Now, Ranaagash, either put that book back on the shelf or put it somewhere else. As I'm going to turn to leave out the area.
If you put it in a bag, if you put it in a bag, is it quieter?
Wulfric, we're leaving.
It's just a question. Does the voice originate from the book or is it in his head?
Is he saying that trailing off as he leaves the room?
Yes, like as they're leaving the room, like he's parsing it out vocally.
Wolfric's trying to discern the logistics of magic book.
The RP's back
Wolfric's
in your
very
hands,
confused
Matthew.
all of the time.
The RP's back in your hands, Matthew.
Yeah, I'm gonna go find Beryl. What the hell is with this book?
Don't be shy, hand it over.
For Marcusar and Eidolon, where would you guys go? Would you guys obviously follow Wolfric out and about, or would one of you go with Ran, or you both kind of just
I
leave
said
him?
I was the one who said I was leaving.
Well, okay, so Marcusar.
I think we're all heading to go meet Barrow. Find out what the whole book situation is.
Well, I think Wolfric and Eidolon are actually leaving the Scriptorium to go and head to the Sleeping Stag, or at least wait for you guys outside if you guys are going to talk to Barrow.
It's more the waiting, because this is Matthew's, like, this is something Matthew wants to do, so...
I'll go with Ran. I'm intrigued by the book.
On the way out, I'm just going to be asking Wulfric about the quality of whoever runs the Iron Dragon's Forge here, because I kind of want to get my sword worked on.
As for Marcusar and Ranaagash, you guys go and find Barrow. He is pretty easy to find considering he's the only other person in an otherwise construct library. I guess he does look kind of confused at the two of you. Are you looking for anything else? I thought you guys had what you came for.
Hold up the book and be like, does this normally speak to people?
Not everyone.
Is it a good thing or a bad thing?
I guess it tells me a little bit more about you, but...
What does it say about Ran?
That he has prophetic abilities.
Oh, newsflash.
The only other people who can hear the book are myself and my sister.
Shall I leave you three in conversation?
Are you aware that it once out of this library?
Yes. And did you agree to take it out of the library?
No.
Well,
Not
that's
yet,
a lie.
What are you implying? I brought it here.
This is going to get quite complicated. As you see, the two of us are twins. So you're going to have to, I guess, listen to which one of us is talking. As Barrow kind of sighs. As the book kind of, I guess, pipes up from your hand. We had an accord. I showed you I was useful and you said you'd put me in the bag and take me from this place. You said you agreed.
I agreed to have you show that you were useful.
But the agreement was I would show you I was useful and then you would take me from this place. There was not an additional agreement afterwards. You agreed to both terms and therefore will take me from this place. You can read my pages, which is interesting, and you can hear my voice, which is even more so. So therefore I can be useful. I will show you I am useful and then you will take me from the library, yes?
Again, this seems like Barrow would not appreciate of that. Seems like he should at least be aware of a book leaving this place.
He is not aware of a lot of things. This can just be added to that list.
How are you sure of that? How do you keep track of things?
Agree to my accord and I can show you.
Fine, show me what you can do.
Give me a name.
Book's gonna take you to court, Ran. for not honouring your verbal contract.
How difficult would it be
Can't
for a
hear
book
this.
to hire a defense lawyer?
Probably quite difficult.
Yeah, given that only how many prophetic lawyers are there?
We have the prophetic call center, now we have the prophetic lawyers.
What use is this book to us? Could we take it if we wished, Barrow?
By the sounds of things, your friend has already agreed to take him from this place.
But you can say no, right? This is your place.
Yes, but this book doesn't really work like that.
I'm lost for words. I don't get what's going on here.
And let me give you a little bit of history. And for
more
yourself
history
as well.
lessons.
Exposition!
What your friend, what Ranaagash the Bastard has found, is, in the easiest way to describe it, where I put my brother. He was born with prophetic abilities that seemed to excel, and both for his own safety and, well, for the protection of the world, I decided it would be better if his knowledge was kept contained, and were better to contain knowledge than in a book. However, it would seem that you have already struck an accord with him.
What power does he have to enforce such a deal? He's a book.
Got you there.
Your book. I can just put you back on the shelf. What am I doing?
Trust me, he's far more useful if you keep him around. If not, you'll just get to hear him from 300 miles.
Oh no.
I would walk 500 miles.
What's the book called?
The book is called Sinmaya. That is my brother's name. And now you know you can put me in the bag. There, your conscience is clear. You're no longer stealing me. Now put me in the bag.
Put the brother book in the bag.
It's
We're
gonna
not gonna have any
turn to-
problems.
Turn to Bear and be like, was he always like this?
Yes.
I can
Let's just say the
almost-
book making process wasn't entirely willing.
A lot of things
Motherfucker.
make sense. But
You
it's...
fucking published this motherfucker.
I love that way of putting it.
Just realistic reaction to your sibling being annoying. Jam them in a fucking printing press and turn them into a psychic book.
Yeah, you wouldn't? I hope my sister doesn't watch this.
That would get really awkward for you, Matthew.
I mean, it could also work in your favour.
I don't want a psychic book. But I have your permission to take it. Take him.
As funny as it would be to leave you without him, it would probably be more beneficial if you took him. I would have one request, however.
Yes.
Don't let my sister get a hold of him.
Who is your sister?
That I can't say, but if you want to know about her, ask your friend, ask the captain, or former captain, Eidolon, about who runs Aramba. Ask him about the bulwark.
She's not a book, is she?
I'd prefer if she was. She'd be a lot less dangerous.
Knowledge is power, man. Let's check it out.
Alright. Alright then. I think that's... Unless... I'll turn to Mark, sir, unless you have any questions.
Nah, I think I'm good. Who's this person in charge of Aramba?
Ask Eidolon.
Does your sister know anything about Thetaurus?
He kind of raises an eyebrow. Why are you curious about him?
No reason. I leave.
Love the mysteriousness.
Can't roll insight if you're not there.
This whole fiasco. Of
I mean,
like
it's
a
more the
magic-
fact, Paul, that the person who you're asking, you know, you've already left, so I'm not going to say.
This whole magic book fiasco is really reminding me of the ancient Greek fable of Bophades.
You're not allowed to finish that.
Bophades.
Bophades nuts!
I've been had.
You fool! You fell for one of the classic blunders.
How
Nothing
could you,
is
Paul?
sacred, and we're all going to die.
I wanted it to happen.
Paul humoured a fucking both of these joke in 2021.
How cringe.
Can we get back to the Dungeons and Dragons, please?
Sure.
As Ranaagash, do you take Sunmaya or do you leave it behind?
I think at this point I have to take him. You know?
Partially
D&D is
cursed
not a
items.
choice-based game.
Mhm.
To be fair, it is quite beneficial for you, Ran, so you have that as a little bonus to it. I will sort this, because obviously it won't count for this, because you still have your portents, which are a 13 and a 4. But now, after your next long rest, this effect will come into play, as you will get an additional portent roll.
Very important.
However, Shushyun, I roll the portent roll. The roll is made by me, not by yourself. You can still use it as one of your normal portent rolls. However, the little fun thing with this is you can use it alongside one of your own portent rolls. So it's not like you could, obviously with your own portent you're limited to one, like a turn or one a round. You could technically use Sunmaya's portent roll on top of your own portent roll. So like
That's
if you're making 2 attacks, or like Wolfric's making 2 attacks, or an enemy is attacking twice, you can use 2 portent rolls for that. Additionally, you have some updated spells on your spell list.
Yeah.
There are a 4th and a 5th level spell on it, so with those, until you obviously have access to those spell slots, you can only cast those once per long rest. But you have a nice new collection of illusionary, divination and conjuration spells. So, illusionary script, unseen servant, Nastul's magic aura, which I love, such an underrated spell, phantasmal force, fear, divination, and legend lore. The last 2, the catch with them, because obviously they are pretty good divination spells, is when you use them with Sunmaya. So the caveat that the information I give you is truthful no longer comes into play.
Yeah.
As it is him that's giving you the information. So whether he wants to give you the truth or not, that's up to him. As he is partially sentient.
Yeah.
He's obviously not going to be like... He's not going to be talking to you all the time, and he's not going to be annoying in that sense. He's not that kind of sentient item, but he will talk to you occasionally, especially if you're obviously using spells from the book or asking him information about stuff. Nice little item for Ran. That can
Ran
also
finally got a magic item.
I have my ring. I already have one.
Yeah, but now you have 2.
Yeah.
How come the wizard gets cool shit? I get cool
You
shit
have
down
dragon
there.
scales, Ewan.
I've got dragon skills. I'm the coolest motherfucker around. This guy's just got a nerd ass book.
Yeah, I got books.
So
You got
don't complain!
I think that's fair.
You know,
This guy's got a nerd ass book.
made you
Yeah,
a
and
cool
you got the
guard
touch.
for your axe that turns things to fire, and you know, it's like...
Flaming axe. I love my I love my flaming axe.
Don't complain about the nerd and his shitty little talking book.
The nerd and his. Haha, now you've got an annoying voice that'll never leave you alone.
Just like Eidolon.
You've just acquired a fucking Navi. You've been given a fucking
listen.
Navi.
Oh,
Hey,
Ran, listen.
hey.
But instead of being like annoying in a like kind of charming, adorable way, they're just like a really annoying motherfucker. They're just like, hey dipshit, you're doing this wrong. Fine, if you're so good at it, you do it. No. Why? I'm a fucking book. Do you think I have arms?
I mean, technically this book could.
I've acquired
let
a
the sleeping
child.
stag in.
Oh, okay. I was gonna make a funny joke, but okay.
Okay, go ahead. Sorry, man.
I've acquired a child to sit in the back seat in the car of my mind on a very long trip.
Yeah.
The trip is your life.
Just occasionally it'll pop up and go, are we there yet?
Yeah.
Can I get chicken nuggies from McDonald's?
How do you feed a book chicken nuggets?
Just kind of put them in the pages and then smoosh.
Slam it.
As yeah, the
Life
four
is
of you,
pain.
the 4 of you would meet up outside of the, I guess, the Scriptorium, out on the outsides, and you guys would make your way back to the Sleeping Stag.
Are you wanting to talk to him again, Wolfric?
Well, he omitted some details for me last time, so maybe one of you is better asking.
Fine, I can do it.
Maybe the book seems to know a lot.
Why would we get a book to talk to someone for us? There are 3 capable adults, and you, Marcus, are. who could easily go talk to this guy, why was your first instinct, let's get the magic book that only Ranaagash can hear, to talk to the barkeep? Maybe think before you open your fucking mouth next time, and we'll get this shit done quicker.
Wolfric has reverted to hating Marcusar. We're back in Summerhost.
Wolfric's fucking triathlon running through the fucking 5 stages of grief over his dog's death.
Oh, we're in anger. To be fair, he is kind of coping with that right now.
As you guys...
You'd be pretty miffed if your dog was dead.
I mean,
Marcusar's just writing out like a list of like how he wants to kill Wolfric now.
As the 4 of you head back into the Sleeping Stag, it's slightly busier now. Dinner is currently being prepared and served to several of the tables, and quite a lot of the patrons have, I guess, started to retire for the evening, coming in for drink and food. You can even see Azimir sitting at one of the tables. It looks like he's doing paperwork of some kind. You can kind of see him scribbling away. He doesn't really seem to have noticed the 4 of you. However, as the 4 of you do enter, you are, I guess, stopped by an older woman. Kind of dusty blonde hair that kind of hangs loose by her shoulders. She sets down a tray of kind of empty tankards upon a nearby table and more approaches Ranaagash and Wolfric, though addresses the 4 of you as a collective. My husband said that you had bought some rooms. They have been cleared and dressed, and I need to give you the keys. So if you don't mind, for my own records, I also need your names so I can put you in the ledgers. But she kind of takes out a big set of iron ring keys and kind of fishes off 4 different keys. These will be the keys to your rooms for the night, and if you need to stay another night or 2, just pay with my husband. I would ask that you try and stay out of the east wing for now. We had a recent collapse, at least in the roof, and we're trying to get it renovated, so we try to keep our patrons out of there. You guys, however, are on the 3rd floor on the west wing, and your rooms are 1-to-1 at the end of the hall.
Eidolon would almost have to stifle a small chuckle at the room collapsed, as yeah, it's pretty obvious what that means.
They're doing renovations in the east wing.
Oh, totally.
I don't trust this.
Wolfric, if you'd like to grab a room, I'll go talk to the man.
Alright.
I still need your name for the ledgers, gentlemen.
What was he called? Asimir, for the things to get into Westcross, did he put our names in, or did he pretend that we were the guys he already had names down for?
You don't know. They never asked.
Shit.
I'm gonna walk past the woman and head towards the bar. I know I am here, and I'm not taking the time for this.
Marcusar Wild.
Who's he? She kind of points at Eidolon walking away from her.
Eidolon de Dallas. We got Wolfric Reinbrandt here, and Ranaagash.
I was fully sitting there thinking of a fake name to give her.
That's kind of why I didn't give my name.
She kind of gives you a nod. Thank you. She kind of leaves you all and picks up her tray of empty tankards, and you can kind of see her take them back and quite, I guess, strugglingly heft out quite a big ledger and start marking some of the pages, obviously with your names and details.
I'm with you in here. We should have gone fake names here.
As Eidolon, you head
I'll approach the man at the bar.
to the bar.
Actually, I'll check with Wolfric just before I head off, as in stomping past the lady, just verifying that the man who's working the bar is the man that they talked to before.
Yes, we spoke to him. No,
Cool.
I've got
I'll
a
head
plan.
on over there.
I've got a plan, gents. Come over here, and I usher Marcusar and Ranaagash to the side. Can one of yous cause a wee distraction? Nothing major, but maybe, Ranaagash, you could use one of your magic fate altering things to make someone trip, or cause something to happen.
I could just get my soapbox out, you know.
Get him kicked out. Nice.
Because I was gonna go poke around the east wing.
What should we do as our distraction, Ranaagash? Do you know any like tricks?
What do we want here?
I could climb on the ceiling.
Marcus really is a kid.
I have spider climb. I can just do that. I can just go up the walls.
That
I'm gonna hang it upside down from the ceiling.
Are you really?
Okay.
I'd call it a distraction. Yeah.
Would I have to run up the walls and hang, or could I like feasibly jump, do a flip, and grab
No.
the?
You're
Just
gonna
a
have
quick
to-
question: will I have had my conversation with the barman before they do their distraction?
You'll probably get about halfway through your conversation with the barman before Marcusar proceeds to get on top of the ceiling.
I'm
Good,
gonna
'cause
do
I
the.
wanted to
I'm gonna
do
do
this
the.
separately.
You know, Wallace and Gromit close trouser things where I just
Oh my
like
god!
like 1 foot up and then just like go sideways. And
You
then
mean,
Where's
the
the
wrong,
penguin?
you mean the wrong trousers?
the wrong trousers. What did I say?
You said the close trousers.
It's
the
the
close
close
shave
shave,
of
the wrong trousers.
And a grand day out, the best.
Where's the penguin? Who's controlling Marcusar in this
Ranaagash.
movie?
Oh, you mean Feathers McGraw?
The most
I-
evil villain who has ever existed. in fiction.
I know
It's you.
I know the WGCU.
WGCU.
Well, anyway, can I talk
Only
to the barman?
cinematic universe that matters.
Yeah, as
Yeah,
this or before this is going on, I guess, before Marcusar starts climbing the ceiling, Eidolon, you will be able to go over and speak to the barkeep.
I'll walk up to essentially the counter and just knock on it, try to get his
Oh,
attention
hold on.
first.
Someone's knocking on my door.
Gasp. He kind of gives you a smile, pulls up a tankard, pours you a pint, slides it across the desk your way.
It would be the kind of awkward moment of if it continues sliding, it would just go slightly past him.
It just goes right off the bar.
Someone else grabs it quite near the end of the bar and kind of lifts it and holds it to him. A few bits obviously slosh and drop. He kind of, I guess the smile fades slightly, though he kind of tries to brush it off with a chuckle. Not the drinking type, are we?
Do you want me to mention private information here, or can we take this to a separate room?
If you're looking to discuss business, my wife usually deals with that.
This isn't business. I know you've lied to a member of my party already, and I don't take too kindly to that.
He kind of looks amongst
I'm
the
here
patrons
to work out why.
who are, I guess, now looking at him with a bit more of a suspicious look. He kind of swallows quite uncomfortably. We could speak in the kitchens if you want to speak.
Eidolon will give a nod and more just a gesture of lead on.
He kind of sets a couple of glasses down. You see him waving to quite an older older gentleman. He's probably in his mid-20s to kind of take over the bar for him. And he kind of heads back through a back swinging door.
I'd follow him. Hand ready to... Actually, I don't need to draw a sword. He can catch these hands if he takes any hostilities.
And
I'll head
then
through the swinging door.
with the barman gone, and just as Marcusar is about to create the distraction, I'm gonna head towards the east wing.
Are you trying to do it stealthily?
Yes.
Give me a stealth roll.
With advantage, I'm causing distraction.
But then he has disadvantage from his armor.
Yeah, it's just a flat
Of
roll.
course. Damn.
It's just
How are
the
those
joys of heavy
before
armor.
before I roll? How are those portents looking, Matthew?
He's got a 4 and a 13.
That's not great.
We'll gamble it. Fuck it. 5.
Maybe we
Let's
should have
go.
gone with
I was gonna say they had like a 1 in 6 chance of rolling better than a 13.
1 in 6 isn't that bad, though.
1 in
I guess
7.
I need to get 3 dice. Okay, so one person does notice you. As it seems to be, I guess, an older female. Again, kind of mid to late 20s. Kind of comes over. I'm sorry, sir, but the East Wing is currently under renovations.
I was given permission to be here. Nothing to see here.
He's got a clipboard and a lanyard. You know, he can go wherever he wants.
The best way to sneak into an area, and you can see videos of people doing it, is if you just have a step ladder and you go somewhere, no one will question you.
Because they just think you're there to do something.
Because why else would you have a step ladder?
Yeah.
Given permission by who?
The Lord.
Oh no!
The Lord gave you permission to enter into the East Wing of our building.
Yes.
I already know a moment from the part 2 highlights reel I want to include, and it's this right here.
You give me a
Wolfric, why don't you
deception check, Wolfric.
Wolfric, why are you just gonna hit her with a pocket sand and run?
Come on, Ewan. Come on. Deception, you can do it.
Please,
Come on.
let's go! 18!
Let's hope she doesn't have good insight.
Why does the Lord want into the East Wing?
You see, despite appearances, I work I'm from the Citadel, and I'm part of an organization that deals with building structure codes.
Oh shit.
And there's been a recent update to the building structure code, and I heard that you were having renovations, and thus I would need to ensure that these renovations were up to scratch with the currently updated code.
Then you're probably best going with my father in the morning. You're not going to get to see very much during the night.
I have very good eyesight.
I think you lost it.
I also have
Torch.
A flaming sword.
and the other necessary implements. It's a lot easier. It's not a loud job. It's a job that would really only take up your father's time.
He's the one doing the renovations, so if you're wanting to talk about building codes, you should probably be talking to him and taking him with you so you can show him what these codes are.
But what I need to do is I need to inspect and compile a list of possible infractions rather than handing to him one by one. It's far easier to compile a list that he can tick off rather than handing him things one by one. He would be more likely to forget things that way.
Then you should probably go and talk to him anyway so he can tell you where the renovations are actually being taken place rather than just you wandering a building.
The Lord has informed me of where the renovations are occurring.
And where are they occurring?
In the East Wing.
Where in the East Wing?
You need to keep that going.
I need to keep this disconnected.
What?
That wasn't at all on purpose, was it?
That's not.
We're in the East Wing. You and dying.
That is the best disconnect I think you've ever had. I just ask you where in the East Wing and you just nope out and just disconnect.
That's so fucking funny.
Marcus, are you on the ceiling yet?
Yeah, am I on the ceiling? I would have started doing this. I would have started doing this as he was like pushing his way through the fucking bar to go to the East Wing. I would just start very casually, just not drawing any big attention.
It seems to be quite, I guess, a spectacle for some people, but it's not really a big distraction in the grand scheme of things.
Wait,
at least
were
the
we
lady.
given drinks?
Nope.
Were you given drinks? No.
At least the lady that's talking to Wolfric
I grab a
seems
nearby. Is there a drink within range?
Someone's
on
drink,
the ceiling.
yeah. But you're now on the ceiling.
I grab it and start drinking it upside down.
But you're on the ceiling. How do you reach the glass?
Can I reach it enough? I can't reach it.
You're on the ceiling.
I'm kidding.
As I'm in the corner,
I gesture to the guy next to me and be like, "Any chance to pass me that drink, pal?"
I mean, you
This
get
is
some
the
weird
worst.
looks, but it's
You want
not.
to see a drink? I can drink upside down.
I guess in terms of distractions, it's not the best distraction in the world. At least in
There's
terms
a
of
dude on the ceiling.
distraction for Wolfric, it's kind of cool performance-wise, but the woman that's talking to Wolfric, she seems, I guess, a little bit more focused on him than on you.
I burst out. If everyone were to follow in the teachings of she and of the old faith, You all might gain these powers to traverse any surface that you may wish.
This is when the wizard in the crowd just casts spider climb and just walks up.
Follow me and the green hand, and we shall all live lives upside down or sideways, however we wish.
As we'll kind of, I guess, leave this scene playing out, and jump
Do you
to
expect me to be serious now after that?
and jump to Eidolon. Well, this hasn't occurred for you yet.
I know, but it's occurred for me.
As you're in the kitchen with the barkeep.
You just hear
Has he
me
stopped?
in the other room. Just
No, you don't hear him yet. This hasn't, for you, Marcus
Oh,
are shouting and
apologies.
screaming
This is
hasn't
the
occurred yet.
This is the
apologies.
past. Does he speak first, or does he look as if he's waiting?
He kind of looks as if he's waiting.
Earlier on today, one of my companions came into this inn to inquire about an attack that might or might not have occurred. You told him nothing, insinuating that there hadn't been one. That was a lie. There's been an attack on this establishment. Why did you lie?
I didn't lie. He didn't ask about.
You lied!
He didn't ask about an attack in my establishment. He just asked about attack in town.
Fine, then I'm here asking now. An attack on your establishment. Elaborate.
We had an attack. That's not uncommon. Everyone in the town is getting attacked at this rate.
Yes, but the attack here was different, wasn't it?
I guess.
This can be easy. Explain what happened.
We were attacked maybe 2 weeks ago. We didn't notice the mark on the building. And my youngest, he was the one who was attacked. It didn't get him. I heard him screaming in the night. I went to go and check on him, and I saw something try to take him. I must have scared it. It dropped him and ran off.
Where is he? Or should I already assume that he's in the area you have put under renovations?
The area is under renovations. The roof collapsed. The tree fell from the nearby forest and got over the wall. He is also there, though.
Can you take me to him? Let me make this clear. My intention here is not to ask questions or apprehend you or your child. My intention here is to stop these attacks before another one occurs. I need to know what your eldest knows.
It's his youngest, but okay.
I thought he said eldest. Why did I think that? I'm stupid. Why did I think he said that?
Good eyes, but bad ears.
No, Eidolon has decent ears. My ears are awful, apparently. My bad. Sorry.
Do you think you can help him?
If I can see him and know... Wait. Help him? Mental trauma, or...
The creature did something to him.
Take me to him now.
He kind of gives you a nod, though it's quite uncomfortable, and you can see that he is, I guess, trying to avoid, I guess, his own emotions. You can almost see this quite broad-shouldered gentleman trying to stop himself from welling up as he kind of leads you out of the kitchen. To which case, as you come out of the kitchen with the burly gentleman, on top of the ceiling, upside down, is Marcusar preaching. Ranaagash trying to contain himself in the corner, and Wulfric seemingly talking to quite a frizzy-haired, young-ish woman, as he's quite close to the entrance to the east wing, but didn't quite get there.
Eidolon is going to give a very deep, very long sigh.
Can I begin dancing on the ceiling? But, like, obviously,
he's
always keeping
doing
like
that-
1 foot attached. You know, like I'm doing like a what's this kind of I don't know. It's sort of weird 2-step thing, but I'm always
I'm
keeping
leaving
1 foot
Marcus
attached, so I'm
on
always
the
on the ceiling.
As I'm going to use a new ability I haven't used yet. I'm not going to contact Marcusar because Marcusar is doing this. But it's more just a thought that Eidolon has, more just the wishing that he because he doesn't want to go over to Ranaagash because I'm following the man.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more just Eidolon has the want to communicate with Ranaagash and Wulfric, as luckily the attention's being drawn elsewhere, but in the moment, the sort of black veins that have been recently crawling up his neck, which would have been visible each time he wakes up, flare up for a moment. As I'm going to spend a key point, as this will be temporary, as Ranaagash and Wulfric will both hear it only in their heads. We're heading into the East Wing.
Can we think back?
Sadly, no. You do hear Eidolon's voice. Sorry, Ranaagash, that's another voice in your head today. You would hear Eidolon's voice in your head.
Eidolon would look over and probably see with his 19 passive perception, Wolfric squinting really hard, like he's trying to reply back.
Eidolon more chuckling to himself if that worked. Just follow me.
Idiot to idiot communication.
That's the visage of the astral self, by the way. I could have either spoken to just make sure you guys hear me, or make everybody in 600 feet hear me.
As for yourself, Eidolon, the gentleman that you're following kind of goes behind the bar. You hear him speak to the man behind the bar. We're going to have a look at the renovations. Ivar, get that idiot off the ceiling. Make sure he doesn't have anything else to drink. We can't have any more renovations.
Imagine a drunk Marcusar.
Polymorph yourself into a dinosaur. Do it. Polymorph yourself into a
I
dinosaur.
turn myself into a dinosaur, Wolfric. Dinosaur Marcusar.
As
and he turned himself into a pickle.
Funniest shit I've ever seen. As I get closer to you, Wolfric, since you are standing at the front of the East Wing, you can see that the veins on Eidolon's neck, specifically on the left-hand side, are sort of... They've turned a blackish colour and are almost radiating a sort of, I guess, haunting energy. He doesn't seem to have noticed it himself, though.
As the gentleman comes over, obviously leading you, and kind of, I guess, turns to yourself, Eidolon. It's just down this way.
Can I see them all leaving?
Yes.
Keep dancing anyway.
You're doing great, kid. As you hear that in your head, so that's Eidolon thinking that to himself, but you'd hear it in your head.
There seems to be another gentleman now on the floor trying to coax you down. Marcusar being like, "Alright, come on, I think you've had enough tonight, lad. Let's get some food in you."
Can I dismount, do a flip and land?
Give me an acrobatics.
Oh no.
Good faceplant, and that would be fantastic.
Let's go!
You do land, and it's pretty good landing at that.
Why do you get a 20 there, non-nat, but you got a nat 1 on your spell scroll?
Behold the power of she. I go sit back down. Dancing as I go.
Yeah, as the man kind of, I guess, gestures for you to follow him, Eidolon.
Yep. As we go into the East Wing, I would gesture for Ranaagash and Wolfric if they've come over to me. Follow.
I would follow.
Yeah.
The man kind of stops and looks at the two of them.
We're with him.
This is more of a personal matter, gentlemen.
Can they wait outside at least?
Do they need to be there?
If you'd prefer them a distance where they cannot hear, they can wait outside.
Intimidation or persuasion, Eidolon, your choice.
What would you classify that more as?
You are not being very persuasive at this point, let's put it that way.
Yeah, okay. That's an 11, so not too bad.
He kind of,
-2 to charisma, so...
I guess, nervously...
Shit, fuck! That's another 11. I have the visage active, so I have advantage on intimidation checks.
As he kind of nervously, I guess, agrees with you, gives a nod to the young woman. Let your mother know I'll be gone for a bit. If you would follow me, gentlemen.
We head in.
First and foremost, do you wish to keep it private what has happened? As in whatever is afflicting.
The town's very superstitious.
We are not the town.
I would still rather it stay private.
Wilfred Ranaagash, could you stay a few paces?
Yes.
Continue. What is afflicting him?
I don't know.
Then elaborate what it does.
He can't control himself. He keeps trying to change shape and morph.
A lycanthrope?
I thought they only changed on a full moon.
Is that superstition in D&D? It kind of is, because werewolves can just kind of change whenever they want.
They can change whenever they want, but it's usually your first change is cemented on the full moon. So...
Yeah. And then you can do it whenever you want.
Yeah.
Even you questioning that makes me believe it's likely not that, then. What is stand out about him now?
He looks sick. He won't eat. He can't sleep. He's not lost any body mass.
Has he remained where you have him now the whole time?
He's only been there for maybe a week and a half.
When was he attacked?
About 2 weeks ago.
Then at the very least, he's not the one causing the problems around town. You must respect the suspicion.
It's why it's why we've been avoiding it.
Apologies for the strange question, but any distinct coloration in the boy?
Not that I can see, but I don't see much colour.
Alright. Unless you can describe what attacked him anymore, or anything distinct about your child or anything he's said since then. The max I can do is take a look at him.
It was just big. It was like it was there, but it wasn't there. It had features like a dog, but it wasn't quite.
At this point, Wulfric and Ranaagash are not hearing these things from the man, but I'm relaying them back to them telepathically. Not from the beginning. I kept his son's details private, because that's fine. But these descriptions of what he saw, I'm relaying back to you two.
I would say it is a werewolf, but that feels wrong.
Mangled, disfigured.
Almost like the scraps you'd find in a slaughterhouse.
But you're telling me your son can still change into himself?
He doesn't have control. It's almost like he's blinking in and out of reality, stuttering as he tries to fight against becoming whatever that thing was.
I can pose something to you, as I'm assuming we're getting close to where he's leading us.
Mm-hmm.
There's a chance with the information you've told us, and you two, by the way, are still hearing this, that I can cure your son.
He does look more hopeful at that. You can almost see his eyes widen.
But if I cannot, your son will die.
That his face drops. Can you just do nothing? Then can you...
Then your son will live in unquestionable agony for the rest of his foreseeably short life. Either that, or he will go on to murder countless people of his own. Do you want that?
No, If the Sentinels can find whatever's doing this and they stop it, will he be okay?
No. If whatever did this to him is killed or destroyed, he will remain the same, as it has become independent of that. Especially if he is, as you said, blinking. I understand your hesitation, but either your son dies exceedingly painfully, or moves on to kill people of his own, or in this instance, I provide him with a dignified death that has a chance of curing him. Is that a persuasion or intimidation?
That's currently what I'm thinking. Probably persuasion more than intimidation.
Damn it, I'm really bad at these. That is the same fucking roll.
It's quite impressive.
It's above 10, so I'm happy with that.
He almost kind of avoids, I guess, answering. You can see at this point he is really choking up as you're literally making him consider killing his own child. As he brings you to one of the rooms, you can see further down the corridor that there is quite a lot of renovations going, as quite a lot of the beams on the roof have split. It will likely cave in if there's heavy rainfall during the winter or even snowfall. But he kind of coughs, swallows the lump that's stuck in the back of his throat, knocks on the door. Eric, there's a man here. He says he might be able to help you.
As it would probably be quite difficult for the man to hear me say this, but I turn around to Wulfric and just say, have your axe ready. The guard, too.
Take out my axe and I light it on fire.
At this point,
Ranaagash, stay with me.
At this point, the man has his hand on the door. You can see that he's unlocked it, but you can see him almost fight, that kind of almost fight or flight instinct of he just doesn't want to let go.
Wulfric, stay outside though. We don't want to scare what's ever inside.
Right,
but you'll know when you can come in.
Okay.
As I turn to the man, open it.
I can't.
What are we going to find in there?
My son.
Then let us in so we can help him, in whatever way that ends up being. I can tell you don't like seeing your son like this, so do you want him to continue existing in pain?
He lets go of the door and takes a few steps back.
Ranaagash, you can either join me in here or you can console. You're better with words.
Yeah, I think I'll stay out here.
As I'll open the door.
The room itself is quite small. It's kind of like a double room would be the best way to describe it, though quite tight in terms of its space. It doesn't look like anyone's been in here for quite some time. There is a lot of trays of food that has been kind of, I guess, slid under the maybe inch or two gap at the bottom of the door, but none of it has been touched. Not even the water's been touched. There is a young boy sat in the corner of the bed. He's maybe about 14, 15. You can see him almost twitching. You can see him kind of huddled up. He's got his knees tucked quite close to him, and you can just see the side of his shoulder and the side of his head just constantly flicking and twitching. Even as you're watching him, you can see that parts of his body coming from kind of the top left of his shoulder and down, and then his left arm, even the left hand side of his face, almost start to switch as if he's halfway through polymorphing, and then it switches back to his own face. Almost like it's trying to take control, it's trying to do something, but it's not quite there yet. It's not got the strength, it's not got the control. As seeing you come into the room, he kind of shifts back, almost pasting himself against the wall, still keeping knees tucked quite close to the chest. It's like, you shouldn't be here. You need to get out.
How does he... When it sort of shifts and blinks, what does it look like?
It looks... I guess a way to describe it would be quite puffy. In terms of like almost the inflammation of the skin just seems to almost boil up. Kind of his shoulders start to extend, his arm starts to extend. You see almost as if his bones have been breaking underneath it to almost flick out and reshape. I guess the thing that would probably unsettle Eidolon quite a bit is whenever his face shifts or tries to morph, you can hear the jawline crack as it extends into more of that snout, into more of that maw.
Ranaagash, you would hear in your head because you're still within 120 feet of me. I'm loving this ability to communicate telepathically. I might need some magic to hold this one in place.
I can mentally reply because I have message.
Holy shit, we can!
I'm just alright. I'll say I've been kind of consoling them a little bit. Yeah.
It's more just as I'll step into the room, just to give Ranaagash the time to actually have consoled the man. Like I request, I'll essentially just like very slowly approach the boy. Mm-hmm. Or just essentially size him up and down and see if I can make out any point of impact is the best way to put it, where he might have been attacked.
Pardon me. Give me an active perception check.
Oh, +9. Please be good. 4 11s!
Not gonna lie, it's shit, but it's very satisfying.
What is this?
You can't see any, I guess, major injury points. You can assume that it's probably on his left-hand side somewhere, as that's where the, I guess, flare-up is occurring. But if you probably wanted to find out where it was occurring, you'd probably need to take his tunic off.
Yeah, that's what I'll wait for Ranaagash for. As I'll get close, but of course giving him his space before essentially squatting down a little bit. You can understand me, right?
Yes. You shouldn't be here.
Do you hear anything?
No.
Not my voice, not the sounds of the world, but in general. In your head.
No.
Alright. Are you okay with me asking you a few questions?
You shouldn't be here.
I know, but out of everybody in this town, I'm the one who has the best chance of getting this rid for you. So give me the time to be here. Are you okay answering some questions?
Yes.
The thing that attacked you, what did it look like? And again, I'll convey this all to Wolfric and Ranaagash with telepathy.
I don't know, I didn't see it. I just felt its teeth, as if it was trying to swallow me.
On your person, on your body, on your skin, has anything changed even when you're outside of shifting?
I only have the bite marks.
Can I see them?
He will attempt to kind of, I guess, shuffle up and move out the way, but you kind of see as he does so, because he's obviously moving, trying to do something else, he almost shifts again, losing control of himself ever so slightly. He almost hunches down, I guess, the more canine part of it. You can see his entire left side, almost his entire left hand, start to become that more claw-like form. As he's moving, he is, I guess, slowly losing control that little bit.
Ranaagash, in your head. Ranaagash, I need that now.
Yeah. Like, I'm in there.
Pac-Man on head. Run. As what do you do, Ran?
It's I'll just sort of walk in and look at Eidolon sort of expectantly.
Just turn up to look at you, still in your head, keeping it from the boy. Can you hold him in place? I remember you could do it to the mayor back in Tannen.
I can certainly try.
Do you have a bad portent roll today?
He has a 4.
I do have a 4. Yes. So I suppose now is as good a time as any, and I will cast, or attempt to cast Hold Person, and then use the 4.
So that would be a 9, which I'm assuming fails?
Yes.
As he is held in place.
Can you keep that up?
Yes.
Cool. I would abandon my more careful posture and not run over because I'm very close, but just quickly step over to the boy. And firstly, I'll remove the tunic just to get a full perspective of his torso myself.
Cool. He has several gashes from his shoulder, most likely from a claw, from his shoulder down to the centre of his chest, though around, I guess, his left-hand side ribcage, you can see several puncture marks, probably from very large teeth, that all seem to be very black in the centre.
Not at all crystalline in any way.
You're not too sure because his skin has almost grown over them to repair it, hence it just looks very black in the centre. If you want to find out, you're going to have to reopen them.
I have a dagger for a reason. Wolfric, you'd hear in your head, go get Marcusar, now.
I'll head out and I'll lean out the door. Marcusar, we need you in here.
Just hear Wolfric from the edge of the east wing just calling you as you're sitting down ready for dinner.
As I take up my dagger from my chest pocket.
I just got my salad.
It's not the nicest way to do it, but I don't have many other ways to do it. Just start an incision at first, but yeah, it's not pleasant.
Let's draw the dots. As I need
Don't have time for dots.
As I need a medicine, Craig. You do have advantage on these, so remember that.
Yay. I'll take that and run with it. What?! How is that? Another 11!
I like how it's all with different
Yeah,
odds.
it's never the same 11, apart from obviously the first two, but like it's since then it's been different 11s.
I mean, it's not a nat 1, so that's good.
Yeah, the first
I
one...
have to really do this way.
The first one, not so great. Ranaagash, I guess it's quite uncomfortable for you, because obviously you are holding him still, so you can feel him fighting against your hold person, as Eidolon is essentially cutting into his ribcage.
Do I need to make another one?
Yeah.
Can't be worse. 14.
That's better.
That's a lot better. It's an 11 on dice!
Yeah.
This is, I guess, a better job, but again, it's not the best in terms of, I guess, feelings or watching.
I'm not happy that I'm cutting badly into a young boy. This just... I don't want to be causing him more pain. This is the best way to do it.
I need another one.
For cutting still?
Can you please do
Finally!
a
22!
snipping of those 11s, because that needs to be saved.
As that's a little bit better. It's, I guess, a bit more of a nicer job. As you're kind of making these incisions, Marcusar, this is when you kind of almost dart past Wolfric and kind of come into the room. There is a very distraught man in the corridors who is starting to almost circle in pace, but as you come into the room you can see, I guess, almost Ranaagash wincing, and you can see Eidolon cutting into the side and cutting into the ribcage of a young boy. There is quite a lot of blood.
What do you need?
When I'm done, for you to heal the wound.
Like magic hands at the ready. Healing hands. Cure.
Have I been able to cut into the sort of source of this black mass on the surface?
You have been able to cut into several of the small incisions, yeah. To at least try and start removing them.
Ranaagash, Marcusar, probably get behind something.
Is there?
Yeah,
What's
what's
there
going
to get
on?
behind?
There's a chest of drawers, or there's like a small bathroom, like, en suite.
No, we do the action movie thing where we find a table, we knock it over, do the jump over it, you know? And we're like, with our backs up against the guns at the ready, like, oh.
I'll take the dagger and more just for the aesthetic value of describing how I do it, essentially slide it in under the skin, under the gem, take a small crack in the gem, and start using that for leverage to... It's like pulling out a tumor from someone, so that's a great way to put it.
As
Without
Eidolon,
trying to break it as much as possible.
I would need one more medicine from you.
Please, this is when I want a good one. 18! Yes!
That is a good one, as you are able
This is what I
to,
needed.
as you are able to remove it without breaking it. However, the boy is now quite heavily bleeding out, as obviously that was quite far into his skin.
As then, Marcusar, you'd be called over rather hurriedly.
Okay. I will cast a Cure Wounds on him.
Do a big boy level 1.
A big boy level 1. Okay, he gets a 3rd level Cure Wounds.
Just sizing him up though, is that the only, was it essentially one large point, or are there multiple points where the bite marks are?
You were able to take, I guess, some smaller chunks out from teeth marks, but you're able to almost trace them to a larger set, almost at the center of his ribcage.
And that's when I got, oh, that's nice healing.
Shame I can't do that for the rest of the party.
I know.
Yeah!
The boy himself, I guess, is more passed out than anything else. He seems to be stable. Marcusar's healing, you can even see the wounds start to knit up. There is obviously still some inflammation in his skin and some discolouring, but the boy seems to be more passed out from, I guess, pain than anything else.
Ranaagash, you can drop it now. Wolfric,
Yeah.
can you come help him onto a bed?
Right, I'll grab him and help him onto a bed.
He is breathing. Faintly, but he is breathing. Wolfric, when you lift him up, I guess the big thing you notice is he's very limp. Obviously he is asleep, but there is no resistance to his muscles at all.
Where was the crystalline structure in his body?
About there.
You stole his fucking kidneys!
I appreciate the joke, but he's probably paralyzed from the waist down now.
Fun, unfortunate.
As I take the crystal, give it a once over. I'm assuming, yeah, this is what it is. I'll pocket it for now as I'll head out to the man.
He is very much circling. You can see him panicking. He doesn't want to enter because he doesn't want to know what's happened. But at the same time, you can see him wanting to know what's going on.
As I'd leave out the room, he'd probably see me exit.
Well, it's...
Your son is alive, and of course it'll be good to keep track of him, but I'm certain that what was happening is gone too. One thing though, because of where it was located, there's a large chance that he won't be able to walk or use most of his lower body anymore. At least for a large portion of time.
I see.
As I'd more just gesture for if he wants to head into the room.
Would you like to see your son?
I mean, yeah, and he won't be bleeding profusely anymore.
He will kind of, I guess, head in, more sit by the bedside in silence, just as his son's sleeping, essentially.
If you wouldn't mind, I'd like to check on him in the morning. I need to make sure that the job's done, and it's done right. Marcusar, if you'd accompany me for that, just in case any more healing is required.
Of course.
We'll leave you to your son.
He kind of stays silent. He, I guess, doesn't really know what else to say. You can almost see in his head that, from what you've told him, he still doesn't know whether to thank you or to curse you.
I can still kill him if he'd prefer.
Well, you know, being paralyzed back then was never a great thing.
However, in a fantasy world where things like artificers exist,
Yeah, he can get
and clearly someone...
he can get a cool robot chair.
More the reason I don't think it's too much of a bad thing is, who lives just across town with an army of robots?
We'll
Hence,
hit him up.
Yeah, just like, can you make my man's,
some legs.
legs?
It's always
I'll
that
mention
first
that to
initial thought, though.
Mhm. It's more if he wants an opinion. I've been to the Scriptorium now, and Barrow has explained that these are constructs, so I can give him an option, but I'll let him mull over it first, and if the party's okay, we'll head to sleep.
Evening times.
As on our way out, I would turn to Marcusar and just say, "Good distraction."
I thought I did quite well.
That's all I
Good
need
work.
to say.
Good work in there.
Wasn't easy work.
Some ghetto-ass surgery you were doing.
Adeline stays dead silent after a way of putting it like that.
As the four of you take a rest, as you take a long rest and head to bed,
It's been a while
we
since we had
will take
one
a
of those.
quick break so you can get some more juice and just nip to the bathroom. And we will continue your story.
Cool.
After them. as we're back. With juice break, I stretched my legs. It feels good.
Hit the dab.
Kind of almost relax and exhale after so much intense RP, where Craig could have nearly killed a child.
I got very close.
You did, yeah. Thankfully none of the rolls were below 10, though just all were 11.
Yeah, I'm still kind of pissed at how many 11s I just rolled in a row.
But I guess going into the night, and then obviously into the next morning... Oh, I popped up the portents by accident. I was literally just about to ask Ranaagash to roll the portents, and then I need to roll a portent for him as well. Ooh, that's actually pretty good for you.
Ooh, not bad.
Those are nice. So we have that one, and that one.
Is my secret one up here?
Your secret one is up there, yeah.
That's interesting, because I don't know what that is. I don't get to know.
I mean, it's up to you. I can not tell you, and we can make that an
Oh.
interesting mechanic that you just say you want to use Sinmaya's portent, or I can tell you what it is.
I mean, yeah, that's probably, like...
Do you not want to live?
Let's not...
Do you not want to live with risk, Ran?
Let's not give me more tools to screw myself over.
You have a 19, a 10, and an 18.
Okay, that's pretty good.
That was his portent roll for you as we sort those. As you now have 3 little boxes above your head. And then it means when you're 14th level, you'll have 4 little boxes above your head. Unless you get rid of the book.
Yeah.
Where'd my bit of paper go? There it is. As I also actually need you to roll me something else, Ran.
Oh no.
More for going into that night and then into that morning. As I need a D10.
Hmm.
And then a Constitution saving throw for you. You don't have disadvantage on this one, as this is a bit more of a frequent thing. 6. 6, 6, 6.
Plus 2, okay.
Oh, nice.
That's only a 4.
Ranaagash vomits.
The book's gonna snark at me.
So we lose that one. As Craig,
Yeah?
we get some audience participation again.
Wait, what? No. Don't do this to me again. I was barely prepared for the first one.
It's okay, this is the last time, I promise, that you get to participate.
You lie to me, and you lie to me often.
I swear, this isn't a lie. This is your last time you get to participate. For these visions. As Eidolon that night... Eidolon? Ranaagash. As Ranaagash that night, you are once again taken to the land of dreams. Though it doesn't really feel like a dream, as you get hit quite heavy on the side with a training sword and get knocked to your arse. You can feel it, it hurts a lot, all your muscles are screaming at you, and as you kind of come to, your head almost spinning. This one I didn't actually ask you, Craig, so technically you get to describe what this looks like. Standing before you, he is very short, very baby-faced, probably maybe 8 years old, 7 years old, as... Craig, what does baby Eidolon look like?
I
never
don't
asked.
fucking know.
I never asked.
Now Eidolon is baby.
Not everyone is baby,
Can
Paul.
someone take Paul outside and shoot him? I know his
Paul, I
flatmates
know
aren't
where
there.
you live.
We all know
I know where
he
you
lives.
live. I knock on your window every night.
Yes, I do. Yes, you do.
Here's the recording evidence of Paul being creepy.
This is to the point where it's a consistent thing.
You should probably file a restraining order.
You and I feel you have a stalker.
There's a difference between your flatmate showing up at the window at 3 AM for deep chats and you and your other flatmate showing up pissed at my window at 3 in the morning. To the point where he doesn't remember doing it.
I might be after this, I might be getting some more drinks. I might be doing it again.
Take it you don't like the second one, Ewan.
I'm gonna get a spray bottle and I'm gonna sit with my window open and I'm gonna wait for them to show up and I'm gonna squirt them.
This is why you shouldn't live on ground floor, Ewan. You're just asking this for this to happen.
This is why we're looking for a higher floor flat next year.
Just to get away
So
from Paul.
He can't.
I'll find a way.
Life finds a way.
Throw rocks at your window.
Please don't.
But yeah, Craig, what does a young Eidolon look like?
Well, no facial hair, because that's fucking obvious. He's 8 years old.
No,
Um,
we're bored with full beard.
He's not a dwarf.
Very, very short hair, but not dark like what he has in present day. It's a lot lighter. But apart from that, broadly similar, just with smoother features. Still tall for his age, but he's still a kid, so very, very short.
As you do appear to be in a training ring, though I guess this one's a little bit more busy, as you can see quite a lot of kids sparring against one another. You can see some, I guess, soldiers at the sides of the rings taking note on bouts. You can even see some parents kind of almost lining, some looking proud, some looking concerned, and some looking indifferent. As a voice kind of booms over the two of you. And the winner is Daedalus. A soldier kind of comes into the ring, puts a hand on Eidolon's shoulder. Well done, son. You'll make a fine watchman.
Is this my dad?
Nope. It's just
in that
another
case,
captain.
In that case, I'll pull away from this man. And instead go over to Matthew, I suppose.
Yep.
And outstretch a hand.
Isn't like a handshake or a like helping
Help you up.
Okay, yeah, I'll take it.
And I guess it would be rather unexpected, but the kid Eidolon would also pull in. I mean, I know who this is, but I'll leave it up to Matthew for now. For just sort of like a friendly hug.
Sure.
As he'd sort of just release still quite a large smile on his face. And who are you then?
Oh no. Oh no.
Who are you, Ranaagash?
Who are you?
Hello?
I know, I'm thinking.
No, that was me in character. It's just very difficult to differentiate that because I just remove the gruffness and then it just becomes me. I didn't come out of the womb sounding like a chain smoker.
I smoked 16 packs of cigarettes and now I sound like this.
I've asked Matthew the most difficult question.
Who are you?
Because I have to lie, and I don't know enough about Aramba to lie.
Who do you think you are, Ranaagash? There's a better question.
Doug. Oh yeah, is this where this is? Is this where that happens? Oh boy. Let's just go with the only other Aramban name. Aramban? Is that the correct?
Technically, it would be, yeah.
Aramban? That sounds weird. That sounds wrong.
I wouldn't put an N, it would just be Aramba.
Yeah.
You can do that with some places.
Aramban?
It doesn't sound right either. Arambian?
Arambian.
Arambian. That's better. The only other Arambian name I know, I would just go with Deirdre.
Eidolon would more just give a shake at the nod of the head. You did good.
Thanks.
So, as he'd more just kind of like awkwardly pace around you. Who are you?
I told you.
I know your name, but like, I don't know, like, what do you do? As he'd more just sway from side to side.
Even as a kid, he asks the question.
And if I'm gonna know you for the next, as he just thinks to himself.
Oh yeah, I got the name right.
Rest of working life. Who are you?
No, I live here. You know what there is around here to do.
Yeah, but like, what do you do?
Fuck, do I even know what Rand's hobbies are?
As like, I like climbing the walls.
It's
I
pretty
go
good.
under things. What do you like doing?
I mean, yeah, that's the same kind of stuff.
Then you're gonna be doing them with me from now on.
Cool.
As he outstretch a hand again.
Yeah, handshake, whatever. I'm
As he start looking through the crowds. So where are your parents?
Oh. I will. Can I look for people who I think who I think look like what I think I look like? That's a sentence.
That doesn't make any sense.
Can we perception check?
Oh boy, this will be interesting.
9.
I guess you see a couple off in the distance that could maybe be your parents. They do look kind of elvish. You're not too sure though.
Not sure if I can see them from here.
Well, whilst we're here, we can be family then.
Alright.
As the very kid version of Eidolon just gives a very confident nod in your direction.
Yeah.
Before going over and picking up your sword and handing it back to you.
Okay.
As I guess you then hear a voice from the crowds. Quite a soft voice, just calling, Eidolon, come on.
Who dis?
Your mom.
Cool. I pass Matthew back his sword, give him a hug, even if he doesn't hug back. Then just release and run over to my parents.
Cool.
Rather proudly, because I won.
You did, yeah. You kind of see as Eidolon runs over, you see his mum come down kind of fussing over him. You kind of see his father looking very indifferent on his face, though, kind of that proud father smile. Kind of just pat him on the shoulder, doesn't say anything about it. More his mother that is doing a lot of the fussing. You can even hear her asking about who's that, oh, is you going to work with him? Like, oh, that's nice. Like, where's his family? And Eidolon obviously responding that you can't see them, you don't know.
Eidolon very confidently responding that is his friend now.
His mother kind of patting him on the head as she kind of stands up and takes more of his shoulder to lead him off, being like, oh, that's nice. Like, at least you'll have someone to train with. As one by one, all the kids seem to leave the halls, the sparring kind of being done for today. You kind of hop down, I guess, off the mats, I guess waiting for a parent to come and get you. No one does. The hall empties entirely until no one is left but the soldiers. And the soldier that officiated your match, that congratulated Eidolon, kind of comes over to you and places a hand on your shoulder. Come on, Gerdra, we'll head back to the bunkhouse. You'll have some friends there soon.
Okay, I know.
As he leads you from the sparring grounds and towards the military barracks, where you have pretty much a bunkhouse to yourself. Where, in a sense of loneliness, you can almost feel it in the pit of your stomach. You can almost feel it, I guess, turn to anger, as even your own thoughts obviously think about an 8-year-old Eidolon, but you can start feeling, I guess, jealousy would perhaps be a word to describe your newfound friend. As you wake up, falling out of bed, the sun kind of blistering through the curtains, and yourself bundled in the blankets as you fall to the floor.
Ranaagash cannot catch a break.
Nope.
Give me a second, I'm writing words.
All of the words.
Just all of them, yeah. This is my book now. Rebook.
David.
David the book.
I know he's got a name, but I'm calling him David.
It doesn't begin with a C, though.
Nope, Eidolon does
Oh,
not.
you son of a bitch. I joked about that.
Yeah, then I thought it'd be funny.
Is that a pun?
If you ever do ask Eidolon about the Bulwark, the person who runs Aramba, you will learn why that is funny.
Okay. Noted, I guess.
I remember making that joke in the forest as we were making our way to collect sticks for the campfire.
Yeah. As that morning, you obviously, I guess, all get up. You all have breakfast. Eidolon and Marcusar, the two of you attend to the young boy. He is still unconscious, still in a very, very deep sleep. The infection seems to have subsided. There is a lot of discoloration, and the area where the infection was is pretty much dead. You don't know if there's much chance of that coming back, at least to living tissue. Marcusar, even your own healing, you're not too sure if more healing would actually fix this. It's not an infection, it's not a result of an infection you've ever seen before, so you don't know if just kind of, I guess, layering it with more healing would actually do anything. You might even be looking at necromancy to try and revive the dead cells, which is not something you specialise in.
No, not at all.
Is the man there?
He is, he's not left his son's bedside.
As I knock on the door. Morning.
Morning.
How has he been? Peaceful?
He slept, yes.
I have a slight recommendation that you might want to follow up on. I presume you're aware of the Scriptorium?
Yes.
The man who runs it seems to have a focus on mechanized objects. There's a chance he could use those to help you support your son. Might even be able to let him walk again.
It's something we will consider.
Another option being,
I don't know, I've not even told my wife.
by the look of it, it's not going to resurface. In all senses, your son will be alive and healthy again. Unless he has anything to say, that's me done.
Nope, he wouldn't say anything else.
As unless Marcusar wants to say or do anything,
No,
we can take our leave.
I'm just whatever you said. I wasn't fully aware of the situation before going into this, so I'm just here to heal in case things go sideways.
It was just in case things had gone awfully and you needed to heal again.
Yeah.
But that's not the case, so we're good.
As the four of you have the morning to yourselves, I guess.
And it's more if we're all at a table together, which I would presume.
Yes. Unless you all are weird and sit at different tables for breakfast.
We all sit at one-person tables and just have a shout conversation at each other.
Oh, don't be
No,
those
pick it up.
guys!
Have a clown conversation.
Clown conversation? Oh. Fuck you, Paul.
I mean, it takes one to know one.
Yeah.
This is when Paul takes messages his next cantrip.
But yeah, you will of course all be sitting together because you're not weirdos and you're not Paul.
I don't think you needed to preclude Paul from that statement.
He's a special kind of weirdo.
Also, joke's on him. Message isn't druid cantrip.
Yo, he can't even do it.
I'll write it on a fucking paper plane and send it across the bar.
I'm not sure the she would be very happy of your reckless use of trees.
Oh.
You know what? Point Ewan.
Let's go.
15 love.
Before we continue with anything like this, if any of us want to do anything during Westcross, we do have the morning.
Do we have much else other business here?
Is there a leather worker in town?
Not actually. Give me a... I guess it would be a retroactive perception check, Ewan.
I love the phrase a retroactive perception check. +3.
Not bad.
That's pretty good, actually.
What the fuck did I do?
Fucking full stop again!
How do I keep, I must keep nudging the full stop that's right next to it.
Ewan keeps fat fingering.
You don't remember seeing a leather workers, but there is obviously the blacksmith or that's not too far from the Southern Dragons, so perhaps he would likely know where a leather workers are. Perhaps he can even do leather working himself. Blacksmiths can be multi-trade.
I was thinking of heading to the blacksmith.
Mind if I tag along?
Of course.
Actually, Ran,
Yes.
you still owe me for Summerhost.
Right.
I'm not the best at haggling, if that's not obvious.
I can give it a shot.
Can I maybe pass you some coin, my sword, and see if you can perhaps get it masterwork done?
I can certainly try.
If he needs a favor done, send me to do it, don't do it yourself. It's more the haggling part, I can't do that.
Alright.
As I turn to Marcusar, what was that again? Because Paul said something, but I don't remember what Paul said.
Do we have any other major business while we're here, or is this the shopping episode now?
We still haven't worked out what's actually going on yet, Marcusar.
I figured that boy, whatever was going on there, that was our answer.
The boy was a victim of the answer.
I see.
He was attacked and henceforth afflicted by whatever is doing this. And I have a potential idea of who it might be.
Care to share?
Captain of the Guard. At the very least, he might know who it is, as he was very forthcoming with information that was not correct about each and every one of these incidents.
He's trying to give us the runaround.
Essentially, and I feel we may have wasted a day because of him.
Do you want to threaten him or shall I?
We'll see when we get there. Bad cop, good cop, but we get rid of the good cop.
Bad cop and worse cop.
Bad cop and rad cop.
Yeah! Can I be rad cop?
I'd be dad cop.
Hold on.
Matthew can be sad cop.
Does that mean Ewan's mad
Where's
cop?
my sunglasses?
Fucking love that Tom skit.
Pogs! No, me and your mother are very upset. No, not Dad, cop.
Government have bees.
I can do this. I can do this.
You cannot do this.
Oh, I can do this.
Yeah.
You've thrown her off her rhythm.
Someone gonna say it?
Well, let's give it a name.
As after you guys have finished breakfast, you kind of, I guess, organise yourselves and head out for the day. Where's your first port call? You going to the smithy?
Smithy. Ewan wants something done. I'm
Smithy
gonna on the way there. I will hand my obsidian longsword to Ran, as well as all my coin.
Can I carry it?
Oh, that will be hefty.
You can. It's pretty heavy. It's definitely not a hand axe. You definitely can't hold it by its blade. This is very, very sharp. I guess you're kind of more awkwardly carrying it.
Mm-hmm.
As I'll also pass you my coin, Ran, for paying it with, because I'm not asking you to pay it out of your own pocket.
Yeah, that wouldn't go well. I don't have a lot of money.
Yeah, I'll pass you all my money.
Run with it, Ran.
How much is that?
That is 44 gold in platinum, so 40 of that is the 4 platinum. Then 5 gold and 5 silver. Actually, no, sorry, 4 gold, 5 silver.
So 44 platinum,
And
44
then 5
gold.
silver.
44 gold and 5
44
silver.
gold and 5 silver. It's just stressing the platinum because dealing a
Right.
platinum coin shows that you... Essentially, a platinum coin, despite being worth, is it 10 gold?
Yeah.
So yeah.
Trading in platinum is seen as more valuable just in general.
Because
Platinum's a rarer coin.
you're fancy enough to have platinum coins rather than like 10 gold coins.
So like
Yeah.
just having 40
Flex.
gold coins is different than having 4 platinum. 4 platinum would be seen as having more money, even though it's not.
Mm-hmm.
It's like
How Americans do it.
it's like the equivalent of having 100 pennies against a single pound.
Yeah, I get
Pound
you.
is worth more.
Yeah.
Yeah, you have that now.
Is there any conversation on the way to the smith, or do you kind of just follow Wolfric there?
I mean, unless someone says anything specific, I'll just happily have casual banter with Wolfric and Ranaagash.
Banter.
I see no reason to stay quiet. Just to stay quiet anymore on the roads.
He's just on our way.
We can joke about Ranaagash's talking book and Wolfric's receding hairline.
Graying hairs, not receding hairline. He's not there yet.
He's aging well.
He's aging well.
As you guys obviously head to the Dragonfire Forge, or I guess the forge that is located not too far from the southern barracks of the Iron Dragons. It's just kind of, I guess, tucked away in the corner of their like small little plaza they have. You kind of have to pass by their training yard to get to it. It is not an open fire forge. It is a kiln forge. Though I guess the kind of thing that strikes you as a bit strange is, despite hearing work going on inside of the shop, inside of the actual smithy itself, against a grindstone by the sounds of the scraping of metal, the forge isn't actually on, but it still seems to be radiating quite a lot of heat, as if it was maybe on recently, but the kind of residual embers aren't there. Very kind of peculiar in that sense. As when you guys head in, sitting on the grindstone, working away at what looks like a set of long swords that he seems to be just kind of I guess, throwing into more of a pile. They're kind of base training swords that he doesn't really seem to be sharpening, but instead blunting. He's literally putting the sharp of the blade against the grindstone to wear it down.
That's how you make a training blade.
Yeah. Is a gold dragonborn, other than...
He's like sat there like fucking Joshua Graham.
Essentially, yeah.
Reloading all of his fucking guns.
We can't expect a god to do all
To
the
do all
work.
of the work.
My favorite quote from any video game.
As he kind of looks at the four of you, kind of raises an eyebrow, you can kind of see almost these, I guess, wisps from his eyebrow. Kind of that very almost Chinese style draconic face. Almost raised with his brow. What are you looking for, gentlemen?
Shall we let Wolfric go first? Because I think Ewan kind of knows what he wants.
I'm looking for the possibility of having any leather working done.
He kind of, you almost see him, not sigh, but I guess exhale, and you can even see some wisps of flame come out of his nostrils. Not something I can do, but if you head out of the trading yard, and first on your left, there's a small leather worker called Hillette. I'm sure Dreli will be happy to see you. He is one of the best armorers and leather workers I know.
How do you really?
It's on the map, by the way, if you need the spelling of the place, Ewan.
I don't think his name is
Question.
there.
Is this the first first Dragonborn Marcusar I've ever seen?
Well, you're not there, are you?
No, he came
No,
along.
Paul came with us.
All four of you came
We're all
along.
in the forge.
Gang,
Gang
Yeah,
out
Paul.
here.
This is the first Dragonborn Paul's ever seen except himself.
Yeah.
And he's not a Dragonborn anymore. Wait, no, we saw the competitor in the tournament.
Yeah, that's true.
There was a female Dragonborn who competed.
I guess this is one of the first you'll be
Person
able
you
to
can
talk
talk
to.
Yeah. Excuse me.
Yes.
Where are you from?
I guess the Citadel?
Where were you born there?
No. I grew up there.
I don't think I've seen many Dragonborn.
Most people don't. At least not this far north. We tend to stay south or on Newell, but I prefer the climate here.
Are Dragonborn from Newell?
Yes, a small island not far off from the Eastrix Basin.
Oh.
I thought most people knew that.
You'll have to forgive him, he doesn't get out much.
We knew a Dragonborn. So I was just curious.
Well, it depends on his age.
Oh, he's about 30. Young, handsome, incredibly intelligent, charismatic.
It was none of
Dumbasser.
those things.
Then he'll have likely come from Newell.
Do many Dragonborn go to Hilden?
I couldn't say.
Fair enough. Thank you for your time. I just shuffle back behind people and be like, okay.
Since I'm sending Ranaagash in, I'll shuffle back with Marcusar.
And what are you
Just-
wanting? A story or directions?
Under my breath, I'm just he could at least hold the sword. But
If
My
I can
friend-
hear that, I'll go up and hold the sword.
my friend here is looking to have his weapon masterworked. That was what you said.
That is the word.
Masterworked. If you are possible of such things, capable. Okay, that's a better word. But yeah,
He kind of raises a brow again. You're looking to have an obsidian sword masterworked.
yes.
It's very possible. It's actually easier on more brittle materials.
You understand the risks of it breaking, yes?
I'd give a nod from behind.
He's aware, yes.
I will also need the weapon, at least until this evening.
That works for me. I said I have 2 weapons always available.
Reason and persuasion.
Flurry of blows.
And now comes matter of coin. It's not cheap to masterwork a weapon. Or a weapon of this type, either. Probably 80 pieces for the work and labour.
Gold.
No, copper.
That's a good deal.
That's. I'll like turn back because I don't know how much weapons cost, so I'll like turn back.
I give a shake. I give a shake of the head.
I can do this now, like in my head and message. Is that good? Is that good enough?
Trying out a bit more intentionally this time. Just like cracks his head to the left. He's shitting you. He means gold. See if you can't get the price down at all. Telepathic communication.
Hell yeah.
Actually, can you respond to the message cantrip?
I think you can respond to message.
So I won't expend the key point because that would be unnecessary.
let me double check that real quick.
Message.
I think it's essentially 6 seconds of communication.
The target and only the target hears the message and can reply in a whisper that only you can hear.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No key point
So-
required.
as long as it's brief.
Yeah,
obviously.
essentially I'll just say, he's shitting you, it's gold. Try to get the price down at least a little.
What is 80 coppers? That's not. That would be very cheap. So yeah, that doesn't add up. That'd be like not.
It'd be 8 gold pieces. I think.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I think it'd be 4 gold pieces.
How many coppers? Is a copper not like a penny?
I'm pretty sure there's 10 copper and a silver, and then there's 10 silver and a gold.
Yeah, so that would be like what? Not even a whole gold?
So
Maybe
80.
8 silver.
Yeah, it would be. 8 silver. So 1
So
gold and. No, not even that.
Yeah,
8
like
silver.
not even 1 gold. But that's a lot of gold.
That's
don't
a
have
lot of
that much
damage.
We have half that much. We have half that much platinum.
Again, see if it can be haggled down slightly. It is platinum, so it might be taken as a little bit more, because it is platinum at the end of the day. Try haggle it down just a little bit. I'm not expecting it to be haggled down to just that gold. And then if he needs anything done in town, shunt me over to do it. Even if that is just carrying like a box over to like the stables or something like that, if he's got horseshoes to deliver. He's a blacksmith after all.
Okay, so we have 4. We only have 4 platinum, so that's only like 40 gold.
But again, platinum can be seen as a bit more.
Yeah, let's see if he'll go halfsies. How's 4 platinum go?
Can't offer anything else?
4 platinum and a favor.
Give me a persuasion.
It's my persuasion. I haven't. Okay.
Hey, Lamau.
He's sitting there with the 10, the 19, and the 18. Rolls a 5. If you have it, I could make it 5 platinum or 4 and 10 pieces. And gives a nod to Wolfric. Your friend's going over to Hillette. I have some pins. They need delivered.
Gonna have to dip into my savings to do that if we want that. Unless you have any more gold.
You don't need to, Matthew.
I'll obviously like turn for a reaction to that.
Unless you feel ever so inclined and don't have anything else to spend it on. This was more just a potential, I suppose.
See, I could be like, you could owe me 1 in return for that.
I mean, I'd happily owe you 1, Ranaagash. I'd happily owe you 1.
We go for that then?
Oh, really?
Just Ranaagash messages you. You owe me now.
I'm the captain now.
Actually, is it the owe you 1? I'm legally not allowed to get angry at you 1 time.
Yeah, let's turn back to and be like, for platinum, 10 gold, and a favor.
As I said, I have a box of pins that need delivered.
I can do that. It's my sword, so I'll take it. I'll go over to wherever he gestures for the pins.
It's just a small crate, kind of like maybe 6 inches, half foot, full of leatherworking pins. You'll be able to pick the blade up by nightfall.
As I'd more just give a nod. And I'm aware of the worries, but no issue if it breaks.
I won't break it, but I can argue that obsidian can be temperamental in a fire, especially a dragon's fire.
I'd say it'll be worth it. And the only thing I'd request is if no product comes out, the 10 gold goes back to him. You can keep the platinum.
If it breaks, I'll give you a replacement. Can't argue it'll be as good as obsidian, but I can at least give you a weapon.
Aye, that'll do. As I pick up the box and head out with Wolfric. If it requires a strength check, I'll arms of the astral self to use my wisdom instead.
It's a box of pins. It's not going to be that heavy. If you had maybe like 10 strength or negative strength, then maybe, but no.
The joys of having a +1 to your strength.
As the 4 of you, obviously if you guys, I'm assuming Ranaagash and Marksar, you don't really have much business in a smithy.
No.
You guys head over to the Leatherworkers, which is not too far. It's literally just around the corner.
It's Wolfric time.
As a leatherworker itself is, I guess, quite a big shop, though it's not very evident that it's an armourer. It's kind of, I guess, quite a closed shop front. Though when you head in, it is quite clearly an armourer's inside. Lots of, I guess, saddles, armour plates, armour pieces, even some basic things like quivers or sheaths. It seems to be everything and anything is in here. All seemingly with a very elaborately, I guess, calligraphed brand of a D and an R, one inside the other, stamped on everything. Everything looks very, very high quality here. As, I guess, stretching some leathers over another mannequin, you see quite a tall elven man. Quite broad-shouldered for an elf. He's not got that like really slender form. He is a lot more muscular. Even like the squareness of his jaw isn't pointed, it's quite chiseled. Keeps quite short hair. Doesn't keep it in a ponytail or anything like that. Quite strange to see an elf with this kind of almost very similar to Wolfric's, but a little bit more shaggy on top. And as he kind of, I guess, turns around to see you, the thing that you notice about him is almost a brand on his forehead that seems to be a spiral, though upon closer inspection almost seems to be that of a coiled dragon. It's one that you recognise quite quickly, Eidolon.
Interesting to know, but I'll leave it be.
As he kind of looks, I guess, between the four of you, do you know what you're fishing for, or do you need something made?
Just to keep it easy on you, Ewan, I'm just going to deliver the pins first, because that's just a quick job. I might as well just walk forward and put the pins on the Essentia counter from the smith.
I've been waiting on these. You think someone as strong as a Dragonborn can walk around a corner, but...
Oh, he's busy, so...
Fax is always busy, even when he's not.
Lucky for him, I wasn't. As I just give him a nod and let Wolfric step forward.
Right. Do you think that you could... I'm going to take out the dragon scales.
You see him almost stop, kind of almost recognising them slightly. Where did you get these?
We killed a dragon.
Dragon.
That tends to be the way that you get dragon scales.
Yeah.
I turn to the man and just say, "It's being dealt with," before rejoining Marcusar and Ranaagash.
Good.
Can you do something with this, like a pauldron? Give me a little bit more defense.
I can...
A mantle? How many dragon scales are there again?
You have enough that, essentially, you know the leather pauldron you got made in the Citadel, the kind of almost arm guard you have, you can pretty much replace that with a new one, made out of these scales.
Okay, so I'm wanting like an armor made out of these scales.
You kind of see him, I guess, rub his neck almost as if something's caught in the back of his throat. He heads behind his, I guess, workstation and grabs a glass, most likely full of alcohol, as it's almost safer to drink than water. He takes a sip, kind of coughs. For an entire pauldron made of these, I mean, you're giving me the scales, so you're really only costing me my labour. For something like that, I could do you 25 pieces.
Wolfric, my friend Eidolon, you seem to know each other and seems to have a problem that needs to be dealt with.
No, it was...
It was in regards to the dragon.
In regards to the dragon. So, 25 reasonable?
You could always see if he's got a delivery to do, Ian.
Yeah,
Always option.
Do you need anything delivered and knock some of the price off of that?
Not right now, if I'm honest. If 25 is a bit much, I can cut it to 20.
20 works.
Then it's settled. If you don't mind, I will need you to remove your current armour so I can at least measure you.
Alright.
As he kind of goes behind, takes some tools, obviously lets you doff your armour, and starts measuring your arm, measuring your chest for obviously straps, measuring your wrist for manoeuvre, or manoeuvrability.
Yeah. Is anyone else from the party at the leather workers?
Yeah, I'm there with you.
I think all four of you were there.
Yeah.
We'll just get us all here.
Oh yeah, if he moves stuff about like clothing, moves clothing about, not only which means you get glimpses of Wolfric's like chest, which is something that hasn't really been seen. Number one, Wolfric is fairly tattooed. He does have tattoos.
Oh, cool.
Number
Anything
two,
in particular?
like geometric shapes, dragons, flowers. He has Sophia's name on his side.
I thought you were going to say your ass.
But also something to note, he does not have abs. He is a man built for strength, not for looks.
Oh, he's a strong boy.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
He has
He's
the
a man
definition
built-
of dad bod.
Yeah, he's very clearly a man. Like when like if he has to move any of the cloth on his arms, very clearly, very well defined arms, just very much like built
He's
for
very
strength.
strong, but none of it's for show.
Yeah.
He's
It's just there to be strong.
he's like a car that isn't very good looking, but does the job. It performs well. He's like a Land like a Land Rover or 4x4.
The elf kind of, I guess, sets up your measurements. takes notes of them, takes obviously the scales from you.
Do you want me to leave the rest of the armour here so that it aligns incorrectly?
No, I have your measurements. If I needed copies, my reputation would be besmirched. All I need is the numbers.
Does that mean your AC goes down, Ewan? Or
It'll go down to 16 for now.
not bad. Worth it in the end.
Don't foresee us getting into combat because I think it's getting along the. Yeah, so Wolfric will he'll probably look for a better place to doff his armor, but he'll kind of like chuck his armor over his shoulder, roll up his sleeves. He's got tattoos on his arms as well.
I'm surprised that's not where you've got your girlfriend's name tattooed.
He does have
nice ink.
Yeah. Well, when you're a young rebellious man with a lot of expendable income and no responsibilities, you have your food and your board paid for. You find a lot of shit to do.
Can't relate.
I still need to get mine, but I know the moment I start trying to get mine again, something is going to happen and I'm never going to be able to get it.
The last time you tried to get your tattoo, a worldwide pandemic happened, so it can't get worse, can it?
I was literally that weekend going to go into the shop to book my appointment to go and get mine done, and then we went into full lockdown.
Nice.
So you can blame them for all this.
But yeah, you kind of leave your, I guess, scales, your measurements with the Draely, and you head back into town, obviously to kind of, I guess, spend the day whilst your equipment is being worked on. Things are being tended to. As, I guess, where would you guys go? Where would you guys head? Where would you guys wander?
I mean, there is only one other place we haven't questioned that yet that we were told about, which was the general store. It was Stonewall Emporium.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So we have that option if we want.
I now have another note to add for Wolfric's future thing.
That being another tattoo?
Yeah, he when they head back to his stomping grounds, he needs to get some more ink. Because he now can get a Dragon Slayer tattoo.
Yeah.
Turnover trio.
Just a picture of an apple turnover on his shoulder.
Good times.
This is where I slayed a dragon. This is where I defeated some bandits. And this is the time I got some nice apple turnovers.
Got some apple turnovers
And
for the
this
boys.
one commemorates the time I killed Marcusar.
Yeah.
As yeah, would you guys, I guess, head to Stonewall, as it's kind of the only place that you don't really have information for?
I mean,
Yeah. It was
the last thing. Oh,
sorry.
go ahead, Sorbo. Go ahead.
Wasn't this person's daughter got killed, correct?
Stonewall, it was his son.
So,
And then his
okay.
wife committed suicide.
Ah, grim. Let's go deal with that lovely situation.
This is the last place, and then with all that evidence, we can probably take it to the captain and call the captain a lying son of a bitch.
We've built up all the evidence. You're done for. We send it to the papers.
What if the papers are the culprit? Who wants to talk, by the way? I'm not very tact. Who wants to try talk to the man at Stonewall?
Ranaagash.
Remember how that went
Right,
last
Ran.
time? He got threatened and
This
left.
time, don't walk in, and when they tell you to leave, just leave. Don't just leave. Just get info this time.
I shall talk.
Remember to insight.
Yeah, don't retroactively try and incite. Do it at the time. You can't retroactive incite.
Yeah.
You can deal with it, Marcusar. After all, what was it in your own words? Those rapscallions will never see you coming.
Those hooligans will never see me coming.
Hooligans.
Aha.
Hooligan. Aha. You did the fucking.
Should we head to Stonewall Emporium?
Alright, Paul, show off your cult leader aesthetic.
Well, he doesn't really need to.
He needs to talk.
As I guess something takes your attention as you begin to move from Hillette towards Stonewall, as there is quite a bit of commotion that seems to have formed in the kind of, I guess, late morning in the north side of town, not far from the entrance to the Halls of the Faith, where quite a large crowd is massed and a quite large crowd of sentinels have also massed. As you pass through, heading through the crowds, you can hear whisperings and gossip. You can hear the townsfolk start to mutter as it seems the dark hunt has come again, come in the night and taken someone else. As you hear the rumours of, I guess, the kind of stereotypical old woman being like, I wonder what Gaius did. I wonder what his sin was. I wonder why it took him. And it's like other voices are, I can't believe it. I can't believe it's happened again. Why would it do this? Why would it take Gaius? And then other voices calling out, being like, this is the church's fault. He never went anywhere else. He never goes anywhere else. As
I just turn to the group and just say, we need to up our pace.
Should we investigate this one first before we go to Stonewall?
By the sounds of it, the person's gone missing. It's not like the Sleeping Stag where there was something to investigate.
There'll be nothing to investigate. We need to corroborate what evidence we have.
Unless any of us want to stay behind and at least listen into the crowd, whilst the others go off to Stonewall.
We'll go to Stonewall. Eidolon, you're good and perceptive. I'd suggest that you stay.
Alright, good luck.
As we split the party, although this time 3 and 1, with Eidolon staying back perhaps to listen to the crowd and see, I guess, what's going on, try and get that little bit closer. As Marcusar, Wulfric and Ranaagash head to the
Last time I
Stonewall.
was left alone with civilians, I cut someone's tongue out.
Yeah, let's hope you don't do that again. As the 3 boys head towards the Stonewall Emporium to go and talk to Zephyros and see if his experience was any different. See if he can give you some new leads, some new answers. As we'll end it there for tonight.
Let's go.
And bring more mystery next time.
I think some parts of that went on for longer than you expected.
It did, but I also enjoyed it. It was nice to get, I guess, in the middle of having a lot of mystery and stuff, it's nice to kind of have breaks and not just, I guess, fire everything at you all the time. It's nice having little bits. That, and it was nice for Matthew to talk to his book.
St. Maya.
I don't think we will have, but have we leveled up?
You are level 7.
Let's go.
Let's
Yeah.
go.
Also, also physical revelation, because I don't imagine the rest of you expected, or when I gave her the design, that Wulfric was heavily tatted.
No. Although to be fair, I'm quite happy that I have now given him long sleeves in his design.
Yeah, so that he just to cover up. He doesn't like cover it out of shame. It's just he's from somewhere cold.
Yeah, it's like
Yeah,
he wears.
You're used to covering your arms.
He wears a long padded gambeson, so like I imagine it's just long. I also imagine him to have 2 tattoos of Sophia's name. I imagine him to have one that he probably got whilst drunk. Like,
yes,
you know, like
that's the hip one. That's the hip one.
Like after their like first night, their first fling, he got it drunk, proclaiming that she was like the love of his life. And then when they started actually becoming more of a thing, I think he probably would have gotten like a nicer one.
Yeah.
No, he's got it on the inside of his lip.
Yeah.
Nice. That's something that people do.
I know, it's
I don't
horrible.
like that. That sounds awful.
Face tattoos just freak me out. Like, I
What
don't
about
mind
eye
tattoos.
like on the
like,
eyeball.
Anywhere else,
Ugh.
I don't mind tattoos,
No.
but see, like, even like neck tattoos kind of creep me out a little bit, just because. No,
I got my 7th key point.
you did.
Also, imagine getting a tattoo, and obviously tattoos can sometimes be irritating, and it's your fucking neck. Like, you can't scratch
Oh,
it.
no. Nope.
Mm.
Keep that shit away from me.
Nope.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys, I guess D&D related, you guys are now level 7.
Cool. What do I get?
Is that because we saved the boy from dying?
Let's say yes, and not just because it's my pacing for getting you guys where you need to be later on.
Okay,
We will create our own milestones.
I get nothing. I just get a 4th level spell.
Welcome to casters. Now whenever I make a dex save, if I fail the save, I only take half damage.
I think
I
the
get
only,
I get shit.
yeah, I think the only 2 that actually get stuff are Eidolon and
You-
Wulfric.
Do you get your second subclass feature, Ewan?
I get know your enemy.
Not bad.
Ooh,
That's a
that's
good
I
one.
actually
Just a,
like clairvoyance. I actually think that will be pretty useful in this campaign.
yeah, because basically what I'll do is I'll let you guys do the talking when we're dealing with someone we're gonna fight, and I'll size them up during the conversation.
Ewan, I don't
just
know if it will be
square
or
gold.
not, but whilst we're interrogating the captain, you could do that to him whilst we're doing that.
Yeah, I'll just
If we end
size
up
him up
fighting
with
him.
know your enemy.
Hey, guys, let's not spoil next week's episode.
I mean, I've already made that clear that that's my intention.
Time to roll.
Money
I'm just gonna
hits.
roll health.
Hit that.
1d10 plus.
I'm really hoping he
2.
rolls better for health because he's not been rolling good.
Ah!
That's like the third one you've rolled for health.
Do you want to let him re-roll a one?
If you
that's
want,
actually
Ewan,
pitiful?
you can re-roll your health because you've rolled, I think, 3 ones for your health at this point. To the point that I think
Like
Let's
reroll
go.
all 3
no,
ones,
just
or
this one.
just
this
this
Roll
one.
this one again.
Because I literally think, other than Ranaagash, you have the lowest health in the party, and that's good.
Yes!
That's what we want to see.
Let's go.
Finally!
As I think,
Finally.
What's your health
54
at now, Ewan?
54.
he has your health, Crick.
No, I'm at 53, so no matter what I roll after this one,
Yeah,
I'll be...
I thought you had
higher.
54 just now.
Is that the end of the session, then?
Yeah, it is.
That's a skyrocket.
Finally, our fighter has a decent hit pool.
I will let you guys
I'm
obviously.
taking tough next level. I fucking gotta.
I thought you were taking an ability score increase.
At this point, he just needs tough.
At this point, tough.
As I let you guys obviously level up off screen, Paul, please level up for next session.
I'll consult Ian. He'll help me.
And we will see you all next time for more mystery and hopefully some answers. But
Bye.
bye from me and bye from my boys.
Bye-bye.